And we are live.
Fun. I don't
Fun.
believe you.
Oh, that's fine.
Let me double check.
I'd like an insight check.
I mean, that's your own fault right there.
Damn it.
The
He's
only
right.
thing for that
We are
resub.
live.
I mean, if you try to insight check a DM, you're always gonna lose. So
Natural 20, you get to see the entire story arc.
Yeah, I'm not on fire, Rosa, because I'm the one that lit the flames.
I'm not
on fire.
I'm not on fire because I just disappear into the background.
Raven, Rojan, do you need me to send you some backgrounds?
I think Raven has it.
I've got a collection of backgrounds.
I think you need the fire.
So while Raven is preparing to burn down everything around him, how's everyone doing?
That'll do.
Well, we're here. We're
We're here.
prepared.
We're ready for whatever comes next.
That's good.
Emphasis on the comes next.
I mean, whatever comes next is going to come down to die rolls. There are several possibilities, but it's up to the choices that you guys make and the die rolls that follow those choices.
I mean, with this campaign so far, our die rolls have not been great.
I am rolling with my new dice today, my new Howlite gemstone dice.
Ooh.
I have asked the dice gods not for high rolls, but rather for fair rolls.
There's no such thing. Let's be fair.
I want the dice to allow the players to do awesome things and to allow my monsters to do awesome things. We'll see what happens.
My
Rojan,
dice
you broke your
cleansing.
cameras.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, whatever you did. Jeez.
I didn't do shit.
No,
I
I think
wouldn't-
he was just bringing up the background selection thing.
Yeah. I did my dice cleansing, which is letting my son plays my dice because he's lucky I'm not. So he touched all the dice, so hopefully they all roll really well tonight.
Oh no, I went and practiced a dice roll with my new keyleth dice and I got a nat 20. Now I'm not going to do it in the game. No.
This is why practice rolls are never a good thing.
I got a nat 1 that time. Okay, it's a wash. It's a wash.
I'm not sure if Keyleth is the one that you want to rely on for roles that may save your character's life.
This
Yeah.
is true. This is true. Where's my Vex dice?
Yes, those are the ones you want.
They're so pretty.
They are. That picture that you posted earlier, they're gorgeous.
So pretty.
Absolutely gorgeous.
No, see, you need your Percy dice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Soon I will have them all.
Because Vex rolled really badly on one that really mattered for her.
Yeah. The problem is the Percy dice, I already legitimately have like another set of dice from Kraken that are almost identical to the coloration, apart from like the design on the 20. Which is why I hesitate to get it. But would probably roll well.
You gotta complete the set. I mean, if you have all the other characters.
Shh, don't tell my boyfriend that.
You know what I did to stop that argument? I asked my boyfriend how much he paid to play golf one time. I'm like, so you paid $50 to go play golf. I just bought $60 worth of dice for the month. And it's about even.
Yeah. It's like, how much was that VR machine? No.
Yeah. Don't talk to me about my hobbies. I'll get on you.
So I think we've delayed here as long as we possibly can.
Oh,
I
no,
could delay
no.
further.
I think we
other
could go a lot
tangents.
longer.
We
Yeah.
do still have a recap to do. So
Shadow, how's
use
the
that
baby
amount of time.
doing? You know?
Oh, the baby's great.
Bring her out. Just bring her out.
Oh, excuse me for about 10 minutes while I go get
Yeah.
her.
Okay, well, while he's
There we
going to
go.
get the baby, I'll do the recap. The unfortunate thing is there isn't really much of a recap. Last session, aside from how it ended, was a relatively quiet one. You guys had decent travel rolls for once. You braved the storms that came your way with magic. Very, very helpful magic. You met a weird spider hive creature and then debated on whether or not you should steal its clothes. And that was really it up until the encounter.
That's what this is, isn't it? It's because we stole the clothes.
The spiders
Yes, it
are
is.
the spiders are
It came
controlling
back
that
in
thing.
armor.
Yeah, that's the spiders are controlling that thing. We're doomed.
Yep.
So
the,
you,
the
you
Colossus
guys,
of Human Town.
you guys did encounter a figure that seems to match up in one way or another with the vision that Zara had when she looked into the possibilities of the future. Though the vision that she had showed multiple figures together, and you've only encountered one, so what could that possibly mean? It started out a bit precarious for you guys. A couple of you managed to get right up on this thing, and I believe it was Raven who totally called the cleave attack that it did on every one of you that was in range, and it was doing some serious damage. But something else was happening in conjunction with its damage that I can't reveal because it's still ongoing. When we ended the session, 3 of you were calling for surrender. One of you, Zara, had thrown yourself atop Xena to shield her from this creature's next blow. And Yixis, you were in the back looking a little bit torn on what you should do and if there was even anything you could do. We called the session at the top of the creature's turn after resolving fire damage and moonbeam damage. So technically, as we start off, it's this thing's turn. However, before we actually start, I need one of you to make a very, very important roll for me. I need a percentile roll from one person.
I'll
I
do
think
it.
it should be Shadow Fox. Oh yeah, or him.
I'll throw myself under the bus.
Well, this roll,
I'll do it if you don't want to.
I got it.
It's for the possibilities that may come for all of you. This is why it has to be a group decision on who does the roll, so there's no blame being thrown around.
I'm fine with Roden doing it.
I'm fine with it too.
Long as it's not me.
Yes, agree
All
with
right.
that statement.
I'm
Sorry.
gonna throw the pink ones.
Okay.
That is 61.
61.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
okay, I'll take it.
I saw the 1 and I'm like, oh crap, did I roll a 1?
Oh,
Okay. I may ask for another one, but we'll go with that for now.
Okay.
So, start the session in battle. This creature is about to make its attacks. But before it does, Iza, you hear a voice in your head. It is a familiar voice. It is the voice of your matriarch. And she says, "How in the hells did Zara know about this rain? Have her tell me everything through the bird box. Immediately."
oh shit.
Sorry, cat dying.
You
Now,
just
that
you just had
was-
to rub that salt in that
Yeah.
wound, didn't you?
Can I?
Well, you can respond to that message because she was the one that cast the sending. So
Yeah.
you don't have to do a vocal component to respond. It can be mental.
Okay.
Think hard about it.
Got
I
25
gotta roll to
words.
see if in her panic she's going to.
Oh god,
Okay, she's not gonna throw anyone under the bus in her panic, so she's gonna be like,
Opportunity.
yeah. She may not get the chance. We are being attacked by a big metal man. Outlook is not great.
Not enough. Not the right info.
I know.
You got 6 words left.
Don't waste it on small words like we blah blah blah.
I don't know what the right info is. Shit.
What's wrong with Isa?
Tell Zara that's not Xena.
Okay. So your response, you feel, has been received. Now, if
Oh, I have one more
could
word.
roll
Can I add urgently?
Yes, you can add urgently. Now, if you could roll a percentile for me, please.
What do I want? Trust. Roll 6. $57? It's not great, not
57?
4. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Understood. So in video games, when your quest tracker suddenly disappears and it's just replaced with the word survive.
Yeah.
Never
Survive.
seen that.
Oh god, we're in horde mode now?
So, this creature, it turns its attention to you, Zara, and it's gonna make some attacks.
I mean, I would hope so.
You are. No, you're not prone because Xena was standing up. So you're not prone, so it doesn't have advantage. It's regular attacks.
I'm not prone, I'm a backpack.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna matter much. I have an AC of 14.
So what you're saying is a 17 hits.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless we're doing new math and then maybe.
Oh. The extra life stuff not working? That.
Should be.
Zara says it's not.
Give me a sec.
I only interrupt because she said she's trying to donate.
The extension may be messed up here. Give me a sec. If that's the case,
If the extension's broken, the link in the extra life command should work. In the meantime, though, Zara, you are going to take 12 bludgeoning damage and 16 fire damage.
that's a total of 28.
Yes. And I need a charisma saving throw from you.
Oh, great! Because charisma's, my best stat here. Okay, that is a natural 20 for 19.
Ooh,
Okay.
thank God.
And it goes in for attack number 2.
This might just down me right here.
That is a 24 to hit.
Just barely. Oh, Zoro Senpai with a $25 extra life donation.
Laurel.
I don't remember what 25 does, but thank
I know,
you.
what does it do? Thank you.
I think this stuff is in the extra life command here.
Could be.
So
How does this extra player?
Zoro can choose anything at $25 or below, adding up to 25.
Xena autosave.
Okay.
Do I even
So-
get any saves though?
We'll see.
Xena, at the end of your next turn, you will automatically succeed on your charisma saving throw.
Okay. Thank you, Zoro.
Just enough to see Zara die on your back.
Yeah, so speaking of that, Zara, you are going to take 16 slashing damage. Sorry, I said bludgeoning last time. It's slashing damage. And 8 fire.
So 24.
Yes.
I am down.
You are down. Okay.
Now I really am just a backpack.
Now you really are just a backpack. And
Zael tries to do a call and
Also
just gets a busy
means-
dial tone.
Now, here's the important
Your-
question. Does that remove the silence?
Dead people can't talk.
I mean, that's a fair point. If she is revived before that 1 minute timer is up, we'll have her roll to see if she can speak or not speak. It was a magic fumble, and those can be precarious. But your moonbeam does go away. And this creature, now seeing 4 pacified foes, turns its attention to the one remaining not so pacified foe on the battlefield. And let's see. Moves to there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's not okay.
But that is the end of its turn. Xena, at
Yup.
the end of your turn, you make your save automatically.
Yup.
You are free from the effects that I DM'd you last session.
All of them?
All of them.
Okay. So I do you want to describe what happens then?
Yeah. Actually,
Because there's,
Euxis, give me a perception check. Because the only other companion that is not also affected by the same thing is unconscious. So let's see if Euxis can see
That-
it.
Doesn't work. They're supposed to go in the dice tray, not bounce off the wall of the dice tray.
It's all the same.
18? Yes, 18.
18? Okay. So you're kind of scanning the battlefield in all directions, and you happen to have your eyes set upon Xena right at, well, the right moment. And you see the image of her shift and fluctuate and shimmer before it disappears and then reappears in the exact same pose, stance, and position that Xena was in after the creature hit her on her last turn. So, you being a wizard, almost immediately understand that what you were seeing of her, what you were hearing of her, was actually just an illusion of her. The real Xena was likely either sent to a different plane or disappeared out of sight somehow, but was affected by something that removed her and replaced her with an illusion. But that save did happen at the end of your turn, Xena, so that brings us over to Zara.
Hi, me again donated $10 to Extra Life, Zoro. But I donate so I can give a hit die to Iza and Zara. Hey,
Okay.
so that means I don't die. Oh god, but that means I have like potentially 2 hit points.
Yeah. So
we
Iza
get to
and
roll those?
Zara, you can go ahead and roll those hit die. It is for charity, so even though it's your turn, Zara, I'll say you can roll it at the start of your turn.
Okay.
So you will have that HP back and have your full turn.
It's not
Alright.
a full one.
So I have 7 HP. Silenced.
Okay.
You rolled a 1?
I rolled a 1.
Oh, come on. Let her re-roll that.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's for
Fine.
charity.
Sure. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Come on.
No, it really wants me to have a 1.
Well, don't forget to add your con modifier at least.
Oh, okay.
Um.
That's
So
only 3.
Zara is still, or Xena's still in the place that she was, right?
No.
Yes. You
The
open your
difference
eyes.
Was Zara covering the illusion or me, actually me?
Zara was technically on the illusion, but I believe you were both occupying the same space, were you not?
Well, the
You were the
illusion was
illusion.
kneeling in front, begging, and I think Xena was frozen, probably in action pose.
Yeah. So you open your eyes, Zara, and you see Xena no longer in that submissive stance that she was when you went to guard her, and instead you see Xena standing at the ready for battle, basically. So something in the brief few seconds you were out changed, either in her demeanor or some other factor.
Liva, thank you for that raid. But I could see that she's moving once again.
She is moving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Zara's gonna clamber to her feet over to Xena and kind of like shake her by the shoulders and try to talk, but nothing's coming out as she's like frantically pointing off to like run. And it's
Agreed.
where specifically would she be on the map? Would she still be in the same spot that her token is right now?
Yes. Same
Okay.
spot.
So what I'm gonna do then is afterwards, I've got to move at speed of what, 40? Okay. Begin to run off down this way. And as she does, she's gonna turn, she's gonna point the wand at the creature again.
Not
You can
bringing
move
that.
at speed of 40?
What's that? Yeah,
How?
it's on my character sheet.
That's crazy. I thought I was the fastest, but yours is as fast as me.
Don't walk much.
So
Did I not add a
you,
null thing? Is there a null thing I'm missing again?
No.
no, I think they have a speed of 30. I thought it was something else that was giving.
Probably
Zara
some
the
druid
bump.
BS.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure I didn't dumbly forget something again.
All right.
Yeah, I think it was a class thing or a feat or something that was giving her the
Cool.
bumped up.
This roll scares me because the dice flew out of my hands in opposite directions, but 25.
Oh,
25.
You implode the entire sphere of influence.
And where are you pointing the wand?
I'm pointing it at the at the giant metal thing.
So you are targeting
Yeah.
the creature with the wand, you might say.
Yeah, because I'm hoping it drops an elephant or something on it.
I
Hoping against Toad.
wish it was something better than what you got, but so you point the wand at this creature, and from the wand emits the detect thoughts spell, and usually you'd get at least some sort of response from a detect thoughts spell, but targeting this creature, you get nothing.
Just AOL.
There's no thoughts whatsoever. You can give me an Arcana roll if you want, though.
It's just the AOL dial-up noise.
Pretty much.
An Arcana roll, you said.
Yes.
That'll be 4.
Okay. Maybe your wand just didn't work.
This wand is so useless.
I'm just gonna
There's
look.
so many good things
Yeah,
on that
there is.
wand, but
Just gonna look very disappointed at the wand.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. So that will bring us over to Xerax. You are still under the effects of the thing. At the end of your turn, you can make a charisma save.
10.
That's unfortunate. Hey.
Oh no.
It's the die roll
Yixis.
-2. Ah, come on.
Oof. Your familiar can have its turn if it so chooses. And actually, you know what?
Do
I'm gonna grab
familiars
everyone.
disengage?
Yeah. I don't see why not. Shift everyone over a bit to there, just so there's more room.
Oh, this might be a shot in the dark. $225 square feet. 9 squares. That's as big as that guy. That's not great. Okay, never mind. So okay, at least I've got that. I'm gonna have my familiar flap around in his face and try to distract him as much as possible.
Okay.
You said I was able to infer from what I saw of Xena that she was an illusion of some sort.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that would give me enough information to try to use that looking glass then.
Okay.
Without it being metagaming. So I'm going to look through the looking glass at Iza, and I'm going to try to use that charge to end all the effects and status effects and what was it? All status effects, abilities, or spells currently affecting the creature.
Okay.
Hoping
So
that it works.
Iza,
Mm-hmm.
normally I would give you a choice on whether or not you want to auto-fail a saving throw. However, because of the current conditions affecting you and the way you are oriented, you are not looking at Yixis, and so do not know that it is him that is trying to do a thing to you. So
Okay.
you will have to roll your dice. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Low roll.
I'm too bad at those. So we'll see.
You want low roll.
Well, it's only a
You
plus
want
1,
low.
so I know. And that's a 4.
Yay!
4. Okay. So would you see Yixis, and would you see Xena, and you know what? Zara probably sees it as well, because she did turn around to look at the creature. There is a burst of light that comes from the space that Iza is occupying, and as it kind of bursts out, you see her figure shimmer and disappear. And then in its space, Iza reappears in the same pose that she was in when she was struck by the creature.
Do I appear in the same space
Oh.
I was in when I was struck, or in the space of the
The space that the
illusion was in?
illusion was in. Yeah.
Okay.
And all effects, status effects, magical effects, etc., that are on you come to an end. Both negative and positive. They all come to an end.
Does that also mean any points of exhaustion?
Yes.
Good to know.
Because I have a point of exhaustion. I don't remember getting that, but I wouldn't have put it there if I didn't.
That thing removes basically anything that is modifying your rolls in any way that's temporary. It removes it.
I don't think there was anything other than the effect that would cause an illusion.
So, anything else on your turn, Ixis?
Oh, there's going to be a couple more things. So that was an action to do that.
Yes.
Bonus action. Misty step to
Good.
there.
Good call.
And I'm gonna yell out, use that spyglass or that looking glass to get Xerax.
You'll get a head nod from Iza.
But also run. And then I'm going to use my movement speed
Okay.
A master of running.
to get another 30 feet down to the bottom of the map currently.
All right. So that does bring us around to Iza.
I'm gonna follow the directions given to me, which is what she was thinking anyway. She's gonna pull out that spyglass, and I'm gonna point it at Xerax, and I will use my charge on Xerax.
Okay. And same thing as when the charge was used on you. Xerax's image kind of flickers and shimmers before fading away, and in its place appears the actual Xerax, free from the ill effects.
And I was kneeling down, so I need to use half movement to stand up, right? Oh, I know, because I
think
came back
you
to
stand up
my
just
position.
fine.
Okay.
I consider prone to actually be laying down, basically.
That was my action, so I'm just moving a full. There. I think that's full 30 feet.
Okay.
So, and I'm just gonna turn around and be like, we gotta go.
So,
And then, oh no, it's a bonus action. Never mind. Alright, that's all I can do. Actually, yes, no, sorry, can I bonus action second wind?
yes, you can.
I need more HP. Well, that's good. 6 plus 5, so that's 11 points of healing.
Probably a good thing to have. And that will indeed bring us over to the creature once more, who is seeing its prey run away from it. But it also has a really irritating flying snake, like bonking into its armor. So it is going to... Oh, this thing's smarter than I thought. Roll for the familiar. Roll a dexterity, straight dexterity for me.
Oh, I need to pull up his sheet.
This guy
His
not
one
roll high on
great
his
stat.
both
His one great stat is Dex. Not even joking. Natural 20. Zoe can confirm.
Go snake.
Can confirm.
Well, yeah.
Natural 20 for a 24.
Number he had to beat was 11. So it is indeed distracted by this familiar of yours, so it is going to make an attack against it. Brings up its sword.
Run,
this
snake,
is
run. Run.
Really, really good that this wasn't against one of you. Not that losing a familiar is ever a good thing, but it did roll a nat 20.
I
Much
can bring
better.
it back.
Yep. Much better on the familiar.
I
You did well,
could
Jamie. You did well.
I could roll damage on that, but I don't think I have to.
Do you have a +5 modifier
I don't,
or above to your damage?
but that would be. Oh, I guess if we're doing brutal crits the way that Rojan apparently has been doing this whole
Oh,
time,
then yes.
the modifier doubles as well, which would make that attack 6d6
Yeah.
plus 8 plus 4d10.
I would like to think that Flying Snake has decided to dive bomb straight at the helmet, and he just goes.
Yep. And right when the snake is like halfway through the helmet, he shuts his visor and cuts the snake in half.
Hi, baby.
So
Oh,
can't
Sorry.
make his second attack against
Taking a
anyone
moment.
within range. So he's going to take a move. Let's see if he is first smart enough to understand that everyone is free.
Every
from
time there's a
these
baby showing up, it should cause
attacks. Yeah, he is not smart enough. He rolled a 1. So he's going to make a beeline for the most recent person to move. Unfortunately, that person was Iza.
Yep, that's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine.
As soon as
So
it
he's
gets in
going to make-
range, I'm going to use Halo of Spores on it.
Okay. And that does what? Remind me?
It needs to do a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution save throw.
Giant suit of armor make con save.
15.
15. I believe that will make it. Yes, that matches.
Okay.
One of these days I'll get to hurt something.
One of these days. So you will make that second attack against Iza. I don't know what your armor class is, but this might not
19.
hit. Yeah, that's not going to hit. He rolled a 6 plus 7.
Okay,
13. He rolled a 13.
that misses.
That misses. And that was the last attack of his turn. However, there is something else before Xena goes. And I'm kind of glad that Yixis just happened to move right to the spot on the map where I had this thing positioned.
Oh,
Oh,
you meanie.
So, Yixis, you are retreating, and as you get to, well, about where you are on the map, there is a large misty cloud that begins to swirl up on the ground, pretty much right next to you. And it's this kind of purple-hued, sickly mist that has an awful, absolutely awful stench to it. It swirls around until it's engulfing a fairly large area right beside you. And then
It's not okay.
you see a creature emerge from it as the mist dies back down. And this creature looks kind of similar to a hyenodon, like a very, very large hyena, but
I mean,
it
excuse me?
is emaciated. Its flesh is pulled taut across its rotting muscles, and there's this sickly phosphorescent light that seems to be emerging from deep within this creature. You can see it glowing from between its ribs, even through its fur. Pull it onto the right layer here.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to. You can
That's
leave
fine.
that right off the map.
I
Um,
Not there.
don't think I will.
I'd like to point out I was really close to the edge of the map before we were moved over and decided to start going south.
I'm gonna go ahead and post a picture of this in chat as well,
Oh,
because this
jeez.
Dear
is
God.
aside from winter wolves, this is like one of my favorite D&D creatures ever.
It is
and-
really cool looking. I just don't want to be on the other end of it.
Super cool.
Aside from the bony spines protruding out from all over its body, one other big noteworthy thing about this is its tail is long, very long, and barbed.
Xena would love to fight this another day. Jeez.
This is sort of one of those not today.
Yep.
All of you can give me history checks if you want. See if you know what this thing is.
No, I can't. This tells me not to do.
That's a 5.
That's an 8.
Five.
Wing, come
That's
on,
a nat 20.
Ooh,
Okay,
Somebody.
Um,
at least there's one person.
big shot
18.
stepped away.
Okay,
Oh, I
so
did
there's
not
two
step
people.
away. The background was more important than me.
Ah,
So two of you recognize this creature. And you recognize it as something called Shisuva, which in the Gnollish language means returner. And this is a very special creature that is created by Yeenoghu himself and gifted to gnolls that have proved themselves on the battlefield, but gnolls that are also quite loyal to Yeenoghu himself.
I'm loyal.
And this creature, after appearing, seems to fix its attention on this very large armored thing that you're all fighting. And then that brings us over to Xena.
Okay. I want to run. That's what we are doing. But other people are in the way. Okay, let me move. Oh, first of all, I'd like to rage because my rage ended. So let me see what happens. This could give me something. We'll
Wild magic rage.
Yeah. Great, sure. Why not? I got a 3, so an intangible spirit, which looks like a flump or a pixie, appears within 5 feet of one creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you. At the end of the current turn, the spirit explodes, and each creature within 5 feet must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take 1d6 force damage. I can use the effect again, summoning another spirit on each of my turns as a bonus action. So I'll need a little icon for my pixie flump, whatever I want to do.
Believe that we used this one last time. I assume you're going to position it somewhere that only the bad guy is
Yes.
affected.
Yes, so only the creature, the big guy. And not what I wanted, but that's okay. 30, 35. I don't like any of these options, but 40. And I'm going to take out that was my bonus action, by the way, to rage. And have the little flumpy guy come out. And then I'm going to take out, after hearing them talk about the spyglass thing, and I remember Zara trying to yell at me, but her voice wasn't coming out. So I'm thinking she's affected by something this creature's done too. I don't know. So I'm gonna hold it up and use a charge towards Zara.
Yep, you can absolutely do that. And as you do, Zara, you feel your voice return to you. However, the other effect of that particular magic fumble still goes off. the time was just shortened. So as your voice returns to you, you feel the need to shout out a personal secret.
A personal secret.
Yep.
Don't worry, I got my pen ready to write it down.
Everyone's getting the notes ready. I think she's just gonna shout out that she's not a true Gnoll.
Okay. You shout this out. for
Probably
the
not a good
world
thing
to
around,
hear.
around the Revenger of Yeenoghu, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. So every one of you now needs to make a perception check. Aside from Zara.
Oh man.
No, this dice is not good today either.
that's okay. I rolled natural 1
18
for
again.
Zara's perception.
10.
9.
The Keyleth dice, I should have known. 2.
2?
Keyleth was
Okay,
not
well
perceptive.
that's actually good in this instance. Because it is, let's see, the ally with the highest perception check, which was you, Yixis, must also speak aloud a personal secret.
Oh, God. Does that happen on my turn or?
It happens immediately.
Okay, I need to
So-
remember what my secrets were.
You all hear Zara shout out a personal secret of hers, and then almost in a very strange response, Yixis shouts out a personal secret of his.
Okay, hold on. DMs, Fox.
Oh God, where did I put Discord? Oh, there it is.
Okay, so Zara shouts out her secret, and Yixis, you can see him trying to like hold it in, like if you're looking his way, but eventually he just, I have a crush on Zayla.
And you all know Zayla is Zael's daughter. Even the Shisuva kind of like for a second like looks over its shoulder at you.
And if Yixis could crumble to dust, he would.
That is adorable.
So that is very good timing, however, because that brings us to Zara, and you have your voice back.
I do. I wish I had like an AoE heal because that's what I'd be upcasting the max I could, but
Fine. See? Fine. You can tell by the flames.
now if I cast a spell and then run, it gets an attacker opportunity, doesn't it?
It sure does. Oh, actually, while you're deciding on what to do, I believe at the end of your turn, Xena, your pixie exploded, and this now
Yes.
needs to make a dex
Yes.
save.
Oh, I'm so hesitant to use any of my dice right now.
Pixie bomb?
It
What?
didn't
6.
roll great.
Pixie bomb.
It rolled a 4.
Oh.
What did? Oh, I rolled for the pixie. Sorry. You wanted
Yeah,
to-
you roll the damage. I have to roll a dex save.
Oh,
and it
that's
just
right.
failed it.
So he
its
failed the
dex
dex save. Okay, I rolled a 6 damage.
Okay, so it will take 6 damage.
He went.
And
How's that go
I
again?
will just leave the pixie on the board out of convenience.
That's how it went.
Okay, now it's your turn, Zara.
Okay, so I can't move this turn. But this may help. I'm gonna upcast Fog Cloud to level 3.
Okay.
Bringing up a 60-foot sphere of fog.
Okay, and where is that centered?
Centered
Although I
on
don't
me.
think centered on you, okay. Yeah, it's like the whole map, so that's fine.
And she's just gonna yell, run.
Okay.
And
And
then
are you... Go ahead.
a fog cloud's a spell. How many good berries am I allowed to eat a turn?
I'll, as much as I would like to say you could just shove like a full handful of them in your mouth, I think it has to abide by potion rules. So free action to eat one. I think it was a bonus action to eat a second one on
You know
the same
what?
turn.
I'll eat one and get 1 HP. For a grand
It could
total,
help.
For a grand total of 8. But
Could help.
yeah.
So this fog cloud spreads out, centered on Zara, and it becomes very, very difficult for everyone to see. Even when you're only like 5 feet away from another creature, the area is just heavily obscured. Nobody can really see anyone else, what's happening on the battlefield at this point. But you all do hear Zara shout, "Run!" So, Zara, are you going to take your own advice? And run?
Now that does it still get an attack of opportunity even though if it's obscurement?
It does, but it will be at disadvantage because it can't see you.
I'm not gonna risk it because I've got 8 HP. If I take a single hit, I'm down.
Okay. So that will bring us to Xerax. You are free from the ill effects that were affecting you, but the area is now heavily obscured.
Did I hear the run?
You did hear the run, and you saw the direction in which Yixis and Xena were running.
Okay. Then I will... Oh, Lord. I'm going to move there.
Okay. And the creature will not take an attack of opportunity against you because the fog cloud went up before you moved. So it, as far as it knows, you're still under the effects of its thing.
Now, the question is, can I see how well Iza's doing in all this?
Give me a perception check. You
Okay.
saw her before the fog cloud went up, so this will determine
20?
how well.
Dirty 20?
20? Yeah, she's caked in blood. She's received a bit of healing that she did to herself, but she was still pretty low.
Okay. So that was 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. And I am going to burn a second level spell slot for a Cure Wounds.
Cure Wounds, remind me, you don't have to see the target for Cure Wounds. It's
I
touch,
just have to
right?
touch them.
Okay.
That was a, as I'm running by, tag Iza upside
Yep.
the head with a heal.
How much was it?
Yep.
You are getting. That's not bad. 8. That's 13, 14, 15. I can math. 13, 14, 15, 16.
Thank
That's
you.
a good heal.
That is a very
Good heal.
good heal.
Yeah.
I'm up to 2/3.
Well, I figured you would probably even hit at least once or twice, so.
Yeah, I think I took 2 good blows last game.
And now I'm going to continue on through now.
Okay. You may do so. And if there's nothing else on your turn, then that will bring us to Yixis.
Alrighty. Let's get weird. Okay. So I have a wizard ability at 6th level called Benign Transposition.
It's always great to hear a conversation start off. Let's get weird.
Yeah, let's get weird.
Opposed to let's get dangerous.
I would like to swap places with Zara.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. She's in range and you don't have to see her. So yeah. And that was with Zara, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go there. You go there. When it happens, it's really almost imperceptible to both you and Zara simply because of the fog cloud. It's so dense, so hard to see anything. But after your positions are swapped, Yixis, you just feel this presence towering over you, the presence of that armored creature. And Zara, it feels like the ground underneath you almost shifts for a brief second, and once it settles again, you hear a faint growling next to you, and a pretty awful stench as well coming from this creature. But you can't really see it. You don't really know what's happened. But Yixis does know what just happened.
Now, can I use the rune power Izaz?
Is it a bonus action?
You didn't put in a casting. Oh, the description. When one action. So that's new. Okay. Well, it's going to be a little less weird then.
Still kind of weird.
Got a Misty Step?
I wish there wasn't a fog cloud so everyone could see what just happened.
Thinking about it, but I kind of wanted to cover the ground with ice underneath its feet. But action economy is getting in the way. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. A little less weird than I had originally planned, but Misty Step, 30 feet straight down.
Wisp, thank you for that 2-year resub.
Now, the unfortunate thing with Misty Step is you do have to see where you're going, which you currently cannot.
Hold on.
Yep, you teleport to an unoccupied space that you can see. Cannot see more than 5 feet in front of you.
I can help you if he doesn't move. If he can't move, I should put that.
Okay. Well, in that case, as a bonus action, I will cast Dragon's Breath on myself.
Okay, you can
And
absolutely do that.
I'm going to move 5 feet over. Actually, I'll move 5 feet over this way, then this way. That's 10. Hoping that the mist has obscured the swap.
No whammy.
And move to there and see what happens. If I don't get it, actually, I'll use my full 30 to get to there, but see what happens once I move out of the range.
Lies on this guy's perception, and he rolled a 4. So yeah, he didn't even know you were there.
Nice.
So, anything else on your turn, Yixis?
No, bonus actioned, I actioned, and I moved. So that will be it.
All right, Iza, you hear the footsteps of your companion rushing past you, and suddenly feel a little bit better for it. It is your turn.
I can't see anything.
Correct.
Would I know what direction my companion ran off in?
Think
Yeah,
you would
you
have
heard the
seen-
footsteps.
And you would have seen us before the fog cloud heading south.
That as well, yeah. You
Yeah.
did see Yixis and Xena headed south before the fog went up.
How dumb is she going to be?
You tell me.
Not dumb. Not dumb. It was a bit of whether or not she was going to stand here and try and stall this thing or actually take off. I heard my companion go south. I felt him touch me, so I'm going to move. I kind of have an idea of how fast Zerix can move, so I'm going to try my best to keep an eye out for him as I move south. So, do I notice him when I get here? So I'm just going to move directly south.
What is your passive perception?
14.
Yeah, I'd say you notice him. You can't see him, but you're feeling fairly confident that he's at least quite close by.
Would it be possible to reach out and grab him to do, basically try and pick him up before to move? I understand it's an action.
I'm gonna say no on
That's
that
fine.
one. You
That's
can
fine.
use. Okay.
Say if I can use something else to grab him, I will. But that's
Well, I was gonna say you can use your action to try and locate him, and then on your next turn grab him. But
yeah, I'll do that. Can I roll to locate him?
yeah, that will be an investigation +5 because you know his general vicinity.
18.
I mean, he's probably going to move before
19,
your
20,
next turn.
23.
But yeah, so you kind of reach out into the fog, and your hands land right on his shoulder, so you know for sure that he is right there and within your grasp.
I then action surge and pick him up.
You sure can.
Smart.
Um,
Smart.
yeah, I still have
I was
one left.
wondering what you were doing. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I know. It sounds
Assuming-
confusing.
Of course, assuming that Xerax A allows it, and B doesn't think you're some random creature trying to snatch him up.
I mean, he has a good sense of smell.
I've got a passive perception of 16, so
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I
keep
assume
forgetting
I
that you're
understand
the one with
exactly what's
perception
happening.
in the group.
So I can't
Yes.
move too far, but I can pick him up and keep moving south, which would put me here, carrying Barracks with me, or
Yep.
dragging him with me, which is fine because I bump into Yixis anyway.
Yeah, I feel like this is an arm over shoulder type situation. And
Yeah, just
going forward together.
All
All right.
the whole Eva can't leave someone behind thing is what it is.
So
But
that will
that's-
bring us
That's my turn.
to the creature, and the creature is going to let's see, I haven't used this ability yet.
What initiative is the new creature on?
The new creature is immediately after the armored creature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you guys can't see what he's doing, but he does a thing. And then he's going to make a perception check. He doesn't know exactly where you guys are, so he's going to tread carefully to here. Perception check was decent, but not good enough to actually spot you. So that is going to be the end of his turn, and then the Shisuva. Zara, you feel a gust of wind next to you. The type of disturbance in the air that happens when somebody runs past you at a full sprint. And the Shisuva takes off and leaps through the air directly at this creature. And they are going to have a little bit of a contest here. That's a good roll from the Shisuva. And that is a decent, but not good enough roll from the other guy. So the Shisuva pounces on him, and he falls prone and is pinned. Because of the fog cloud, you guys don't see it, but the four of you that are right there certainly hear it. This huge, lumbering, armored creature falls backwards to the ground with a very loud thump, and you feel wind and sand kick up from its direction. And you hear the growling and snarling of this creature, which has now positioned itself on top of the armored one. But that was its action to do that. So that brings us over to Xena.
Oh, puppy! She has no idea that's happening, so I imagine, she just saw, like, did she even catch a glimpse of that dog thing before the cloud went up?
We all did, because we all did the history check.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
And because you started to head south before the fog cloud went up, so you did see it as you were running that direction.
Yeah, she was rushing towards it thinking it might be a better target than the other one, but it seems to not want to fight, so that's fine. Xena is going to pick, let's see. Gonna grab the little one, Yixis. If you'll let me. She's gonna pick you up, throw her over her shoulder, and book it. That's what I'd like to do. Full movement.
Before you can reach out and grab him, make a perception check to see if you heard his footsteps run up beside you.
Oh, okay.
It's a fairly low DC because I imagine he was panicking slightly when he did so.
Do we have keen senses or anything like that?
Yes. So this will be at advantage because, for the most part, it's going to be scent based.
Hearing
Straight
and
roll?
sense, so.
Oh, that's right. It's not sight, so fog doesn't.
Perception. So 11.
DC was 10. So,
Oh,
yes, you catch the familiar scent of your young companion right next to you, and can indeed use your action to scoop him up, assuming he doesn't resist.
Do you resist, pup?
Well, let me roll a counter perception check to see if I catch this happening.
She would
So
probably
that's
be
a
talking.
7.
Did you roll it with advantage?
Yeah, she would be talking too. She'd be like, "Come on, pup." And you have been picked up by her before, so I don't know if that lowers the DC at all. It'd be a familiar set of fur and arms.
Well, see, I want to do something before we get all the way out. So
Fair.
I would, unless you're going to force the issue, which I wouldn't blame you if you do. Yixis is going to say, "Wait 1 second," and when it comes to his turn, he wants to try to do something.
So Xena, you hear Yixis say wait. You can choose to force the issue, in which case it will be a opposed roll on a grapple check,
Which you will
or you can not scoop him up, or you can hold your action.
Decided. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads, she scoops him. That's the tails. You stay.
Okay, so you do still have your action then, Xena. You can do with it as you please.
He's the only one I would have sensed in the area.
No, you probably catch the scent of Iza as well. She's covered in a lot of her own blood at the moment, so it's a very strong kind of irony scent.
Then as she reaches out for Yixis and he's like, no, I want to do something, she'll be like, keep reaching and grab for the next person.
Okay. And you can grab Iza, assuming she doesn't resist.
Iza, would you like to come with Xena?
It's just a domino effect. Nope, not you. Nope.
Claire
not you.
wants
Nope.
to come. Iza can't leave anyone behind, so knowing Yixis is staying behind, she won't move.
Oh my gosh.
Not a smart course.
And
Xena's gonna
this
push
is
the
why you
issue.
guys are in that situation.
Yep.
Will Xena put heads or tails, Iza?
Heads.
Heads, you stay then. Tails, she's grabbing you.
Okay,
Right.
so
Opposed grapple.
from Xena, I need a strength roll. And from Iza, I need acrobatics or athletics.
Athletics. Well, she has a pretty good chance on this at the 15.
I had a 16 on the die for a total of 24.
Yep.
Okay, so Xena, you successfully grab Iza and can force move her with you. Should
If
you
I'm
choose
still holding on to Xerix, how does that work? Am I forced to let go of Xerix?
Are you going to try to continue holding on to him?
Xena
Or are
is
you gonna-
raging.
She's
I know.
raging.
She gets advantage on that, yeah. But
No, actually, my rage ended. That was a straight roll.
oh.
Oh.
Yes.
Do I feel like if I hold on to Xerix, it would drag him along with us, or would it cause an issue? If I'm feeling myself already being drugged.
It would drag him along with you, but it would reduce the distance you could go even further.
I'll release him.
So,
Xerix has been drugged around enough.
Okay, so then I can move half of my movement speed with her?
yes.
Wait.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay, and if I use... Did that count as an action to grab her, I'm guessing?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Nice. Free action just tells Xerix to get the pup out of here.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I'm...
leaving him with that responsibility as I let
Get
go.
the pup out.
Okay, so that means we will move 5, 10, 15, 20 off the map with Iza.
Yeah. Move everyone up. Oh,
There you go.
grabbing the wrong guy here. Everybody up some more.
More map, yay!
More.
Yeah, I think we
Means I
ran
need to
past
make
these
bigger
ruins
maps.
earlier.
I think we're right there.
Yep, that looks right.
So
Like a
it's
Looney
5,
Tunes
10.
case scene. in
Oh
here.
wait, sorry. I was right next to Yixis, right? Or was I right in front of
You were
them?
right next to you,
You were
Six.
right next to him.
5, 10, 15. So one more. 20.
I guess I would
Yes.
still be there with the drag.
Yeah.
Or would you be able to pull me up next
or
to
you
her?
could be right beside, your choice. I mean, once you begin to be dragged by her, you can make an effort to keep pace.
Yeah, I think once we
like-
get moving.
Lifting and then setting down.
That too.
With that type of strength, I think you manage that.
24, yeah.
Not a problem.
Bloop, We're going.
Despite all the armor and everything else that I'm clinking around in, I think you managed to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that will bring us now to Zara.
You've probably heard the clanking going past.
All right, so
Oh yeah.
I'm in full plate armor. It does not stay quiet.
hoping
Xena's got plate too.
hoping her friends, you know, were smart enough to follow her command of run. She's gonna drop concentration on the fog cloud.
Okay. So the fog cloud dissipates, and all of you can see around you once more. And looking around, you see the image that accompanies the sounds that you heard. The large armored creature is laying on its back. One of its swords has fallen out of its hand. The other one still grasped quite firmly, though you see the flames on it burning a bit brighter than what you thought they were. And atop it is this large, emaciated hyenodon creature, pinning it down, snarling at it, looking like it's about to take a bite out of it.
And as she sees this, she's going to sprint 80 feet south.
Okay, you sprint 80 feet south, continuing at this pace. Even if the armored creature got up and was dashing after you, it couldn't catch you. It would just be able to keep pace. So you are free from the battle. Xerax.
As I assume the pup has a plan.
You guys are on the same initiative. Maybe he could go first.
I'm gonna hold until the pup has a plan.
Okay. So you are delayed to there. Ixis, you're up.
Okay. Now I get to get weird. Rune power is Saz. Hope I did butcher that pronunciation.
I mean, we can't really be sure how they're pronounced anyway.
It's going to spread from. Whoa, that is not helpful.
That's an awesome green line you drew.
I know. Thank you.
I'm a big fan
Fairly
of the little tiny
straight-ish.
dot that was next to it.
Oh, and it's gone now.
Yes.
Ruined my whole night.
It's going to cover this area with ice, and that's going to be difficult terrain.
Okay. So, Xerax, you see Yixis kind of kneel down on the ground for a brief moment and draw something in the sand. And from whatever it was that he just drew in the sand, ice spreads out in a fairly large area in front of him.
Okay.
And then I shall there. Misty step. And then movement.
Okay. And you as well exit the battle. Xerax, now it's your turn.
So correct me if I'm wrong. If he does manage to stand up, that would be his entire movement speed.
I believe so. Let's see. He would make an acrobatics check to see whether it would be like extra difficult for him to stand up and move in that area. Basically, standing up from prone would be half movement on a successful acrobatics. If it's a failed acrobatics, he would use his entire movement just to stand up.
Okay.
It's a full action cast. Nope. Okay. That plus an additional 10 feet. So I'm going to use a double move.
Gotcha. And you as well are safe. Well, as safe as you can be, anyway. Isa.
Currently being carried.
Yes, I imagine she would let go. If you
First to
asked
grapple and
politely.
drag her.
Just a series of drags. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do, actually. So I'll probably drop onto the ground and then start dragging Zena with me. Or a
Easy
dash.
enough to do unless she resists. It would use your action to grapple her and then your movement. So
That's fine, so...
She'll allow it.
one caveat about forced movement.
Xena will allow it.
Yeah. We'll only move to here because I can't move that far, but I'm not leaving anyone behind me, so...
Okay. So the pair of
Zena
you
allows it.
Yep.
move down.
Xena's like, fair!
Or I'm not going to pick her up, I'm just doing like the grab, like a Zerix, just grab and drag.
Yeah.
Okay. And that brings us around to this guy who is going to attempt to shove this creature off of him. So it'll be an opposed roll here. Oof. Did not roll great. Versus... Yeah, you guys look back briefly and see this large armored creature struggling, really struggling, to throw this Hynodon monstrosity off of it, but failing miserably. He rolled a 1.
No.
And that will bring us to this creature, the Shusuva, who is then going to make several attacks against this guy. That's gonna hit, right? Yes, that matches. Shit, this thing does 40-10?
Say what?
Yeah, it bite does 40-10 plus 4.
Can this be my new familiar? Oh shit, familiars can't attack.
It'll be 24 piercing damage on the first attack. That is... Second one is gonna miss. But then it is going to stab at thee with its tail stinger. Which most certainly hits. It's not as impressive with 2d8. Take 16 damage. Is it immune to... It is immune to being poisoned. Armor guy takes a lot of damage, but is still moving, although not quite as quickly or fervently as before. Xena?
Continuing to book it. Stubbornly grabbing Zara. I mean,
Okay.
Isa.
There's no one else around, so
Isa.
Isa will allow it.
Okay.
No
And that would
three-legged
put you
race over
guys
here.
Off of the map.
Yep.
Yep.
Though just barely off of the map. Zara, you are free from battle, so we can skip you unless you're going to turn around and return to battle for some reason.
Nope, she's gonna get out far enough and then just wait for everyone.
Okay. Ixis, you are also free from battle. I assume you're not returning. And Xerax, same deal.
Nice out here.
Yeah. Isa, you can use your movement / forced movement to free you and Xena from battle.
Are Yixix and Zerix in yelling distance?
I would say so, yeah.
Does anyone have a charge left on their spyglass thing? 'Cause maybe it'll do something to that thing. That's one more say, and then I'm going to grab Xena and drag her. And we'll get out of combat.
Okay, so that will take you out of combat, and I will just go ahead and get rid of the initiative tracker because I know how this is going to end. So you guys run. You all catch up to each other eventually. where you can all run by yourselves without force moving each other. So you can go at a good dashing pace. And you get far enough away that you feel it is now safe for you to take a breather and assess what the hell just happened. Unless you want to keep running, which you're welcome to.
I'm going unless somebody grabs me and stops me.
Either was at the back of the pack, so
you run at a dashing pace for about 20 minutes. There's no way this thing's going to be able to catch up to you at this point.
when we stop, I'm worried. Zara, the Matriarch wants you to send her a bird box message about how you knew about the blood rain. Good luck.
And how exactly am I supposed to send a bird box message when we don't have a bird box? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
She doesn't know that yet. Do you want me to tell her?
Why does she want to talk to me?
She wants to know how you knew about the blood rain.
Tell her I can see the future.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my second stone. Send a message to the Matriarch. Okay. We made it out of battle. Zara can see the future.
That's all you're gonna say?
And while she's saying that, Zara's gonna go over to Xena and drop a level 3 cure wounds on her.
Ooh. Yeah, thank you. That was awful. Not glorious
You're
at
gonna
all.
get 16 HP back.
16?
Yeah.
Sweet. That was a bit more than I was expecting.
Unfortunate.
So, Isa, you get a response. I don't have time for childish games. Have her explain herself.
I'm not sending. She still wants you to explain yourself. You'll have to. I'll probably offer the amulet up to Zara. Like, if you attune to this, you can tell her tomorrow.
Did you tell her about the bird box?
No.
Yeah, throw me under the cart.
Yeah, so all of you heard the message that was sent.
Okay.
Part of the vocal components of the sending spell is you have to say the message out loud. The recipient doesn't to respond, but the sender does.
Up.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Do what?
Sending.
No.
Question for those who are smarter than me. What was that?
What was what?
Okay, the dog one. The metal one, crazy. But what was the thing that came in after? It looks familiar, but I don't know. It's bothering me.
Long story short, both things you shouldn't go into battle with unprepared.
No, but details. I feel like there's something about that thing.
It's. I'm sorry. Remind me the name of what's his face.
It is a Shusuva.
No.
S-H.
Of the Gnoll god, demon god.
Yeenoghu. Yeenogh.
Oh my god.
That doesn't help.
I thought you guys were saying you know who.
Nope, it's right there in chat. They were really, really clever back in the 80s when they were naming their monsters. And you go, it's a hyena. It's Yeenoghu. Okay, there you go.
It still sounds like you know who. I hear it now. I'll never unhear it.
I swear, I thought you guys were saying, you know who.
I can see how that would be misheard. It's pretty close.
Anyways. Yeah, Yixis was. It's a creature that serves Yeenoghu, and yeah, it's therefore like loyal servants. So I don't know if maybe it was here to protect one of you. Do any of you still follow the old ways?
Xena immediately drops to her knees and raises her axe up and starts like whatever would be acceptable to Yeenoghu, like, because she is a follower. And so she would be trying to pay respects.
I'm more scratch my head and be like, Yeenoghu's a little mad at me right now.
But immediately gets into like an I honor you pose kind of thing.
I've never worshipped it.
I had an argument with him the last time I talked to him, so I think it's doing well.
You spoke with what? Xena
Oh,
like
you
whips her head
were-
around.
You weren't there after the dream. Yeah, the whole reason those monsters came and took you away was I pissed off Yeenoghu.
That was.
What is happening?
To be fair, I had a hand in that as well. She was raised because of my mother. Thus, she took her from him. And now he's upset and throwing a tantrum.
Your mom took her from Yeenoghu?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, they all heard me say that, right? Or all heard Zara say she wasn't a true Gnoll.
Yep. They all did.
Give me a second. I gotta remember how to pronounce her name.
Just mash your keyboard.
Yeah.
That's what her name is.
There you go. D&D names. D&D demon names.
As long as it starts with a Z or a Y, it doesn't matter
Right.
what follows.
My mother is the demon lord Fungi.
I thought we were joking about the whole demon lord thing.
No.
That was for real.
no.
Lady Zuckmoy is my mother.
Apparently that's who raised me from the dead. Yeenoghu's a little mad about it, and I got in an argument with him.
I wasn't kidding when I yelled. I was not.
Whoa.
But I don't think that qualifies to make you not a true Gnoll.
I mean,
History or religion check on knowing about who this Zuckmoy is.
Go with religion on that one.
saying I'm not a true Gnoll isn't exactly, immediately goes, my mother was a demon lord. Like, often people say I'm not a real Gnoll or a true
16.
Gnoll.
I wasn't born in the natural way.
Are you a mushroom?
So? Are you a mushroom?
Maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Sniff, 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 sniff.
I honestly don't think it matters.
No,
Are you
you're still
a
It's
mushroom?
Zara.
the whole
Exactly.
reason.
Gnoll.
It's
You're
the
the-
whole reason why I was technically given to the Green Mother.
I've seen you do more Gnoll-like actions than most other Gnolls I know.
Agreed. You are brave,
Perfect,
strong.
perfect company.
Yixis, with that religion check, you don't know too many specifics about her, but you do know the basic stuff. She is the demon queen of fungi, also known by the name Lady of Rot and Decay. She was a demon lord, is not currently, does not reside in the abyss currently. There are a lot of rumors about where she is and what she's doing, so you don't really know what the truth is, but you do know that she has a significant amount of power.
So Yixis is sitting around going, Xena's a loyal enough servant to Yeenoghu
Yep.
to have him grace her with one of those things.
No,
And-
no, no, no. I'm not
and-
worthy of that.
And Zara is the child of Zuckmoy, who used to be Demon Lord. And she was raised by that Demon Lord, or that same Demon Lord, and stolen from Yeenoghu. And that's why I'm here, because of that whole thing.
So what's your
And
connection to the demon lords?
he starts just rocking back and forth.
So while
That'd be fine.
while Yixis is having a panic attack, Xerix, give me a history check or nature, your choice.
We've been blessed this day. Xena
I like
said.
nature. Nature will give me a 18.
18. Okay. Now that you're free from the panic of battle, you know that a Shusuva is only granted by Yeenoghu to the hardiest and most powerful of gnolls for deeds such as like single-handedly raising an entire village type of thing. It's not something that would be gifted to a pup.
Nothing we've done.
I wonder if the
Like I said, it's too much.
Did the
But we've been
matriarch
blessed.
did the matriarch call in a favor?
that's what I'm wondering. 'Cause she did contact me in the battle, and I kind of told her we were almost shit out of luck. So
That must be what it is. The matriarch would be one that would be worthy of this.
You probably
We owe her
only did it
much.
for the bird
Well,
box.
matriarch that.
While like right at the moment that is said, Yixis, it occurs to you a memory flashes in your mind of running through the matriarch's tent alongside Zael and sneaking into her room, and within her room you recall seeing a shrine to Yeenoghu that the matriarch crafted out of the head of the previous matriarch.
All right.
Walking back and forth heightens,
Zara-
intensifies.
You okay, pup?
Oh, there's nothing okay about any of this.
You'll get
One
used to it.
step at a time. Yep.
And sorry, just to make the point clear, it doesn't matter where you came from. It's what you do when you're here that matters.
Precisely.
If it was anyone else, I would have just left them high and
But you didn't, and that's what matters.
dry.
Sorry,
You're-
it was so brave of you to. Were you draping yourself over me? I
yeah,
couldn't move. I couldn't
in-
speak.
a
That
lack
wasn't-
of logical thought, I decided to put myself between you and that blade. In hindsight, that wasn't a good idea,
Yeah.
but
Who was it?
But it was brave.
all of you are pretty much the only friends I have.
That meant a lot to me, Zara. I won't forget it.
He's just gonna look a little teary eyed. Like, I don't never had friends before.
Now, I don't want to be that downer after a action-packed day, but I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm tired.
Agreed. I think we could all use some, hopefully, quiet rest.
We try and dig a den and get the fire going under there to keep the den warm again.
Let's look around for a good spot first.
And while I do that, I'm gonna cast Druidcraft, see if I can get a sense of the weather.
Okay. And the orb that appears in your hand, signifying the weather, is that of a glowing bright sun. Not that it's going to be sunny, because it's nighttime, but that it's clear skies. And you know that is typically the weather that follows a large sandstorm like the one that just swept through the area as well. So you're pretty confident that the remainder of the day and the night that is to follow will be quiet.
We have clear skies ahead. Don't have to worry about getting buried in sand.
That would be nice. Can you do your dome thingy today, little one?
You want
Oh,
him to
I can always do it.
We may not need it.
we may want him to conserve his magic in case something happens in the middle of the night.
No, I mean, I can always do it. It just takes longer time.
If you are going to prepare for a rest, there is still a few hours of daylight left, so you may not want to pop that dome immediately, but it is good to have for when night approaches.
Xerax, what do your eyes see? Do you see a good spot for us to stop for the night? Ahead?
Possibly. Let me have a look.
Give me that survival or
I
perception.
think as much distance as we can get between us and where we left that thing, maybe change course and cover our tracks, or that thing moved pretty fast. It can probably find us.
So glad I've got a +6. That's 15.
15. The desert that is laid out before you, still keeping with the terrain that you've been walking through the past few days, is flat and relatively barren. But the upside to that is that you can see predators coming from a very, very long distance away, and you see nothing on the horizon anywhere around you. You see several spots of heavy sand that would be easy to dig a den within, to construct some sort of small dune to maybe give you cover from wind if you needed it. Several spots, really anywhere you wanted to stop that you could set up your camp or pop your magical dome. So really whenever you guys are ready to set up that camp, you just pick any spot.
I do want to go for a hunt when we start getting ready to settle down. I'm not gonna go up to the spot that we pick up until I've gone on a hunt, and I want, in the process of on that hunt, when I'm at my farthest point away, I want to try to use some sand to get some of the blood off me, so I kind of leave less of a trail at that point.
Probably a good call. And it's easy enough for you to do. This is something that is, I'd imagine, second nature to any Gnoll, how to have a good, thorough sand bath.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that seems important.
Then I'll pick up whatever creatures I can for dinner on the way back to the campsite. That way I'm leaving less of a trail.
So
And
are
I
you
didn't
guys
come-
going to travel a bit before setting up camp, or are you just going to find a cozy spot to set up camp and
I
just
think travel a bit
relax
before we set up
Yeah.
would be not a bad idea. A little
Okay.
more distance between us and Mr. Nopeness.
If we're going to travel, I'd probably ask for 10 minutes to run off, clear the blood off myself, then come back and meet up with the group, so I'm not leaving a heavy trail.
Xena goes with.
Zara's gonna dump a
Or
couple
maybe
heal
a different
spells into
direction.
herself.
The same thing. Sorry, what was that?
Zara's gonna dump a couple heal spells into herself, seeing as how she only has 8 HP right now.
Actually, that being said, how is everyone looking?
I'm at 2/3, so I'm okay.
Less than half.
Okay, you less than half person. 12 from that one.
Awesome. Thank you.
And how are you looking now?
Pretty good. It's hard to say without what I gave me.
You know what? Let's give you another 7.
Perfect.
I
That's much
burned
better.
the last 2 second level spell slots for 2 upticked cure wounds on myself.
What's your rules on potions?
Potions out of combat, I mean, you could double fist them if you wanted to. In combat, free action to drink 1, bonus action to drink a second one on the same turn.
And when you take a potion out of combat, do you get the full amount, or just still have to roll for it?
You still have to roll for it.
Okay. And do you allow potions to bring people back up when they're down? Or no?
I'm always torn on that one, because on the one hand, not killing players is nice, but on the other hand, trying to drink something when you're unconscious is not something that ends well.
That's
I
why we
asked 'cause
have
it will
the
determine
healing
if I
cells.
save these or not.
Yeah.
Healing cells.
I think I'm going to stick with, I think, the ruling that we use on the Tuesday show. You cannot force feed a potion to an unconscious person, but if you have something like a healing salve, I can't remember if Zael gave you guys any, but
No.
if you
No.
have
We used
one,
them.
you can apply that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and take a healing potion then.
Either had the cells, and we've used them all. Long
I shall
time
have
ago.
to make some at some point.
That's pretty good. I got max healing, so that was perfect.
Nice.
That'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everyone is healed up and bathed up, and you continue your trek for a couple hours. It goes uninterrupted. You guys travel as a pack the whole time, perhaps a little paranoid about things jumping out at you after the experience you just had. But it's quiet, it's calm. Whether that's comforting or unsettling might differ depending on who you are, but nothing interrupts your travel, and you manage to find a good spot to set up camp as the sun begins to touch the horizon. And I think on that note, we are going to take our first break. So thank you all for sticking with us through an event that could very well have led to a pack of dead gnolls. It was a possibility. I would also like to give a point of inspiration to all the players before we go on a break. You played it smart. You made decisions that were in character, and I appreciate that.
It was very difficult.
It was difficult doing character things.
Yep.
There
Because
wasn't
I'm like,
any.
I know they're all being affected by something, but
Yeah. And it's really hard to act or to not act when you as the player know that there's something you could do to essentially save everybody, but you opt not to because it would be metagaming, and I think making that effort certainly deserves to be rewarded, and that's why inspiration exists.
Thank
So
you.
everyone has a point of it, and we're going to go ahead and take our first break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Alrighty, we are back. That laugh makes it sound like there was some inappropriate conversation going on.
Us inappropriate? How
Never.
dare you?
Never. This is a Christian Minecraft server.
Yeah, well, now I'm scared.
You muted, Shadow Fox.
Does this mean there's crusades?
Yes. I
I
mean,
said,
no.
sir, this is a family channel.
I mean, speaking of Minecraft servers, the Behold Roleplay community now does have its very own Minecraft server. For those of you who want to get on the action, it's finally stable after all this time.
It is. And if you do want to get in on that, all you gotta do is join our Discord, !Discord in the chat for the invite link, and hop into our Minecraft channel and yell at Rojan until he waitlists you.
Yell at me, yeah.
So, you guys find a decent spot to set up your camp. Isa, I believe, is going to go out hunting as soon as you set up, or were you hunting along the way?
I'll hunt along the way if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sure can. So go ahead and give me... Oh, go ahead.
Also, along the way, I would have been reading A to progress the reading of the journal, and B to calm my nerves.
That's fair.
Let's do that. So survival was a 17.
17? Okay. Along the way, you managed to find a vacant nest. Vacant snake nest.
Sure.
Right. Sure.
That's a snake.
It was a nest of flying snakes. So it makes sense now. Except the parents aren't home. However, all the eggs are.
Ooh. I'm more.
And... Go ahead.
I want to pick up the eggs, so I want to be very careful with at least one of them because I know my dear friend's Yexus flying snake just bit the dust. So I want to bring one back to him to see if he can hatch it.
Yeah, I guess you guys didn't know if that was like an actual snake or just a familiar, did you? Because he had it when he showed up.
Yeah, it was his pet snake.
Pet snake.
Okay. Yeah, you can be very careful with one of them.
The other ones are going to go in the cold box. Which, when I open, are all my other food things still there?
How long ago did you put those food things in there?
I don't remember. This morning?
I think it was only like a day or two ago, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're in there. They're a
Do they
little
look
bit
okay?
chilled.
Okay.
It's only been a couple days or a day at least. So, yeah, they look fine.
Do they smell like a normal day to 2 day out in the pack sun food, or do
Yeah.
they smell?
Well, not as bad because they weren't out in the sun, but they're certainly not like preserved in any way.
Alright, I'm gonna check out the stuff that smells too old to eat. Leave it near the steak den, and then put the eggs in, and then save the one attempting to. I don't know how much she knows about preserving eggs to keep them warm and stuff.
Let's find out. Roll a nature check.
Okay. My nature's not bad. That's an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Is it-
I mean, wrap it in like a cloth or something so it doesn't break. It'll probably be fine.
That's what I'm gonna do then. Wrap it in a cloth, and I'll carry it in my hand. I don't want to risk it jumbling around the pack as I head back to camp.
You know what keeps
Hey,
an egg
so
warm,
you-
right? Fire.
That's one way to do it. In the box you were putting the other eggs in, right?
The cold box is where I put all of the other eggs. That box I
All the
kept
other
out.
eggs. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Okay.
one egg I
So,
kept out of the box.
You found 22 eggs in total. 21 of them are in the box. One of them is wrapped up nice and cozy. They aren't huge eggs. They're not like chicken egg sized eggs. They're like halfway between the size of a quail egg and a chicken egg.
Having omelets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mushroom omelets.
So
Fine snack
It-
eggs. That's why I just named them.
yeah, it is enough to feed all of you for the night. There would be none left if you roll to get a full meal just from the eggs. But there's a decent number there. And you make your way back to camp, or back to the group, because this is on the way to camp.
Yep. When I see Yixis up there reading, I'm just going to go, Yixis? I found I'm more unwrap the egg. I'm like, I found a nest of flying eggs. The parents were around, flying snakes, flying eggs. I found a nest of flying snakes. Parents weren't around, but I found the eggs. Did you want to maybe raise this one since your pet died? We're holding up the tiny little egg.
Yeah, I can try. It was a familiar. I can get it back, but this is nice too. Thank you.
Or give it to him. Not really understanding the whole familiar comment. You're familiar with your pet? And then I'm more kind of like just gently shoulder bump Xena as I go up next to her to finish marching and be like, I got us eggs for dinner.
Sweet. We need it. We need a nice meal tonight.
Mm-hmm. Can you make us something nice? I think we took the kitchen set from that camp, so I think you have a full cutlery set now.
I'll make some glorious omelets for us. Her glorious is a little less, emphasized. She's a little mellower than usual.
We had an exhausting day. Even for Xena.
Yeah.
Even for Xena.
So Yixis, do you know how to care for a reptile egg?
Nature?
Yep.
Well, that's going to be a 24.
20, yeah, you know exactly what this egg needs. A little bit difficult to give it the care that it needs while traveling, but if you're careful enough, you can achieve it. Keeping it warm, but not too warm. You can take one of your empty pouches and make like a little sand bed out of it in which to store the egg that will protect it from any sort of bumbling or rattling while producing the warmth that it needs.
Yeah, when we get to camp and stuff, I'll actually take some paper, or hopefully if I have any not fine paper, and shred it, and a little bit of cloth and shred it, and do that to make a cozy little nest in a pouch.
Yeah, you can do
lots of
that, no
cloth.
problem.
Yeah, you know what? We've got all that cloth from the spiders.
Yeah.
You do, although, yeah, actually, yeah.
Isa has it.
Yeah.
And the egg will
So,
come
yeah,
with one cloth wrapped around it, so you have that start.
Yeah, you can do that no problem once camp is underway, and you guys finish your couple hours of travel. As mentioned before the break, the sun is just touching the horizon as you decide it's time to stop and relax, perhaps for a little bit before sleep. And you get a fire pit going, I assume. You guys have done it over and over every night, so I'm not going to make you roll to start a fire. You have enough supplies on you that you'd be able to accomplish this between the twigs and cloth that Isa has been picking up and carrying with. Good thing that she has been picking that up, because otherwise there would be no fuel for the fire. Unless some of you can cast magic fire, which I believe some of you can, but either way, you can make fire.
When we made our
Xena
camp,
will do the magic fire.
I would like to still try and make that little alcove with the chimney coming up so the fire can be underground with us rather than be out in the open. For overnight.
Yeah. Give me a survival roll on that. I am keeping track of how many times you do this. Eventually, it will no longer require survival rolls.
23.
For now, it does. And you replicate your first attempt perfectly. Your first attempt was, well, perfect. And so is this one. Following all the steps that you previously did, minus leaving the one little twig in the ceiling that, when pulled, brings down the whole structure. You exclude that part of it and manage to set this up quite nicely. you guys will have a cozy, relatively concealed fire for the night.
You learn from the dragon.
I guess we have like basically a short rest before we go
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and recover some hit points.
I'm gonna take time to attune to that necklace so I can get yelled at in the morning.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you actually took it, because if you didn't, Isa would have made the relay of the message.
So, if anyone needs to or wants to recover things on a short rest, you can. And once that is concluded, I assume you're probably gonna cook up some eggs for dinner.
Yup.
My short rest
starts cooking.
I will use Arcane Recovery to gain back a level 2 spell and a level 1 spell.
Okay. Xena, are you using the cookware that you found, or are you using your... You are? Okay.
Yes.
So when you do your performance roll for the cooking, add a +2 to it.
Great.
What you found is a cook set or cookware +2.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
18. Oh, but plus my 4. So
22.
22, yeah.
All right. Between what you have left of spices and bits and pieces of preserved meals that you've had along the way, you managed to make the most fragrant, fluffy snake omelets that you guys have ever seen before, and they taste even better than they look and even better than they smell. It's as though the highest chef from Kamiraska has come to cook personally for each and every one of you.
We have the highest chef to Kamiraska.
You do. And so
Real quick,
each of you... Go ahead.
As she was breaking the eggs, Yixis would have been looking at them to see how far along in their gestation they were.
Because you want to be sad?
Do you want me to describe that? Because I can.
I don't need you to go into really bad detail, but he's interested so that he knows where his egg's at.
Okay. About half of them are a bit lumpier and redder than normal eggs.
More protein.
Yep.
Some people pay extra for that. Some people pay a lot extra for that kind of
Relatively early in the process, but they mature and hatch fairly quickly. So if you care for this one for, you figure maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, it'll be good to go. If it was not one of the lumpy red ones.
Either goes to next.
Anywhere in the span of 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Either's gonna sit down next to Yixis and be like, "Do you need anything to care for that? I got." And she's gonna start pulling out her pack all the rags that she has and some of the spare twigs and sticks that she has. We can build something to help transport it around, keep it safe.
Oh, I've got this pouch that I can empty out and move over to another pouch. It's not a big deal, but I start picking through the cloth, and I'll find the cleanest and potentially warmest
And she pull
of
out
the
this
cloths.
strips of tent too that she braided up. I don't know if these ones are better, but she has braided strips of cloth too.
But I mean, I'd probably only need maybe a square yard at the very most. I mean, a square yard probably wouldn't even fit in a pouch. So, you know.
Yeah, between the rags of the spider person's clothing and the shredded tent, you can get enough fabric to create exactly what you're after. And with the clothing pieces, you find that they make quite a good insulator, and the tent pieces offer pretty decent protection from weather. So you don't really have to worry about water and stuff soaking through the tent fabric if you use that on the outside.
How
Yep.
much of my tent fabric and our bundles of rags we say have left? Like 75%, 50%?
I mean, I probably had to use very little. Like, not only is this going in a pouch, but it also needs to be, it's all shredded fabric, so most of it's still air.
We've also used it
Yeah,
for 2 campfires.
I would say the tent, you have about 75% of it left. And the clothing, you have, between using it for the fire starter and for this, you have about 60% of it left.
Just want to update my inventory.
And all of you, after you finish your very delicious snake omelets, you all have 13 temporary hit points, which will last for 24 hours or until depleted.
Nice. Good meal. Seems like we needed this.
Yeah. Yeah, we did after the day we had.
And Xena, you are quite impressed with this cookware that you found. And you're kind of giving it a once-over after you finish cooking the meal with it. And you see on the underside of the handle on each piece of the cookware, there are runes carved into it. And although there's nothing, say, magical about this cookware at the moment, you do think, after seeing those runes, that perhaps if you find the right person, this cookware could be enchanted.
Hey. Ixis.
Yeah.
This meal was, I mean, I'm a good cook. Don't get me wrong, but this was like extra good. I was looking at this cookware that I used. It's got some weird writing on it. Could you take a look, see if you can read it?
I will look and see what there is to be read.
Okay, I'm not even going to make you roll on it because you've seen these types of runes before. They are basically generic arcane runes, priming something for enchantment. So this was either likely enchanted at one time or was ready to be enchanted. Having the runes already carved into the objects will just make the job for the enchanter that much easier, because they won't have to do it themselves.
Yeah, so it looks like whoever had these made was wanting to get it enchanted, but just never got around to it or something. So it's ready to be enchanted.
I don't know. I don't know if they didn't get around to it or not. I felt like, I don't know, like I was really in my groove cooking tonight, you know? Everything just flowed perfectly. Nothing burnt. Nothing.
Are you saying you want my egg?
No, of course not.
And he's
Hey,
like,
it's his pet.
Isa got that for you. It's your pet to replace the other one, right?
Good. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Hey.
You want me to draw a little face on it? With my makeup?
to the runes say made in Arcastus.
Actually, since you weren't investigating, like you were getting hands-on look at this cookware, give me an investigation check, Ixis.
Okay. Go back to.
I really like this cookware. This is the best. I swear if those metal bugs steal this cookware, I will ruin them.
25.
Oh, they're
25. Ooh. Okay, that's really high.
18 plus 7.
Looking at the large frying pan that is part of this cookware set, you notice on the underside of it there seems to be a mark, a relatively fresh mark. And thinking back to the campsite, you're able in your mind to kind of match up the grooves of this mark on the underside of the pan to the sharp edge of the broken sword that you found. So whoever was at the campsite, in perhaps a fit of panic or quite deliberately, was using this frying pan to defend themselves.
Did we find the kobold camp? This is Cole's camp. This is probably Cole's camp.
Who's got that broken sword?
I do believe that was Zarek's.
Xerax has it, yep.
Zax, can I see that? See that broken blade?
Xerax is muted, but I believe he just handed it to you.
Of course, here.
And you'll see him take the pan and take the blade and just, that's where the ding is.
Yep, and it fits into that groove on the pan perfectly.
Are you telling us the pan broke the sword?
Whoever was at that camp was using this to defend themselves, and I'll take a closer look at the pan. Is it in fact magical?
You did do detect magic in the camp and found no magical essence with the pan itself and a fading magical essence with the sword. However, knowing that this is an object that was primed for enchanting, at minimum, it is a masterwork item. And whether that masterwork item is a butter knife or a greatsword, it is immaculately made and incredibly strong. And so, give me an Arcana check. This is a really high DC, but if you manage to hit it, well, you'll learn some things.
That again is a +7. I think because when you said you have a point of inspiration before we went to break, I had one already marked down.
So you have 2.
Does anybody remember what that's from?
Possibly a donation.
Or a meal?
Wait, what did you get?
So we all got a point of inspiration after the battle right before we went on break, but when I went to go mark it down, I already had one. So
It wasn't from a meal. I write down every time we get something from a meal. We didn't get an inspiration from a meal.
And the donations that we got from Extra Life for this year anyway was Groudon's a couple weeks ago, and then Zoro's ones today, so it wasn't from a donation.
So it probably should have gone away. All right.
Probably.
Well, okay. Just to help, because I like these kind of things. I'm going to use my inspiration on this from before the break. What is the die on that one?
On the inspiration, it gives you the roll at advantage.
Did you get inspiration for the dragon thing?
Did I?
Oh, you know what? You may have.
I think that's where you got the other inspiration.
That's where the other one would be, yeah.
I think it's for how you resolve the dragon situation.
That would make sense. Would that have already expired, or is it still good?
I mean, rules as written, they expire, but that's no fun.
Cool.
You can have it. You have 2 currently.
Okay. Well, I shall roll at advantage then. Okay. So that is going to be a 26.
And here I thought the DC 22 was unattainable. So you study this frying pan for a good while, and the sword, going over all the mental notes that you made about the investigations and detect magics that you did at the camp. And the conclusion that you reach, that you're fairly confident of, is that this frying pan started that day as an enchanted item. And during the battle, when that sword struck this frying pan, the enchantment on it was broken. And either as a result of or in response to the strike from the sword and the enchantment breaking, it destroyed the magical item that was the sword.
So in Yixis excited, nerdy fashion, he will prattle all that off very quickly. I'm not gonna RP that, but there you go.
So
What-
magic
what
broke the
probably
sword, not the
has-
frying pan. This makes me feel better.
What-
Yeah.
Yeah, what probably has him most excited about that is that there was an enchantment that broke another magical item and did not break the item that was enchanted. The enchantment itself is no longer there, but the result was it destroyed a magic item.
So
Very difficult to do.
my inference would be that the enchantment on the cookware was actually stronger than the enchantment on the weapon.
Yes.
Xena squints her eyes at his rant, raises an eyebrow, and goes, "So it's a good frying pan? Like, really glorious frying pan, would you say?"
Yes, but then take that level of gloriousness and multiply it by like 100, and that's what it was like this morning.
Wow. It's okay, frying pan. We'll get you back to your ultimate glory in my hands.
And my mind starts racing about the kind of person who would travel through the desert with cookware enchanted to a level that it would break an enchanted weapon.
Sounds like casting to me.
Xena just hears really glorious frying pan and happily cradles it in her up against her chest and goes over to clean it lovingly.
Yixis now really wants to find that person that was in the camp.
This is
Yeah,
not her
it's-
most prized possession. Be warned,
Too bad
any
that sandstorm.
who dare.
Including creepy crawly spiders.
She's
Just
gonna
my damn
sleep
shield.
with it. She's gonna sleep with it like right up against her.
I don't think a
I've-
frying pan makes a very good pillow.
She will not care.
If I've learned anything, it's frying pans make absolutely dangerous weapons.
It's not a good pillow, but it makes an excellent cuddly.
Rapunzel
Insert-
said so.
Yep.
Insert tangled.
Yep.
Insert
Yeah.
insert coal.
insert PUBG, bulletproof to the
Frying
max.
pan,
Yep.
best weapon ever.
I mean, if you've ever cooked with cast iron cookware, you know that shit's not light, and that hurts if you drop it on your feet.
Dude, I have a copper lined pan out in my thing that's, I swear to God, weighs 15 pounds. It's hard to lift.
So, if there's anything else anyone wants to do before night falls, you're welcome to do it. Otherwise, anyone taking watch?
So we have 2 hours of downtime. In that 2 hours, I would like to ritualistically cast Find Familiar and do 1 hour of trying to transfer the Scroll of Detect Thoughts to my spellbook. I don't think that falls under my Conjuration Servant, so it's going to take 2 hours. Again, new caster, who this, but
yes, because it is second level. It is 1 hour and I think 50 gold of materials per level of the spell, something like that.
which the materials are the paper and the fine ink itself.
Yes.
Correct?
The items in your inventory. Let me. just
So I
double-check
have my
make sure I-
spell book, which has the paper in it, right?
Yeah, so the material cost of spells is I usually just say it's the value of the ink that you use, because technically it's the value of the ink, the value of the paper, the value of the components that you use to test the spell as you transcribe it. So I make it easier and just say, well, how much gold worth of ink are you using, type of thing. So under fine inks, when you drop down the menu in your inventory, I did list a gold value there of how much you have.
Okay.
So make sure you reduce that value, and same with your incense for casting Find Familiar. That will reduce it by the amount of incense that you use.
Oh no, I have a finite amount of that.
You do. I am a bit of a stickler for spell components when it comes to that sort of thing. If they have a value or they are consumed, have to have them.
The big thing there is the
I can
consume.
only do it once more.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Things
Okay.
like a pearl for identify, which are no longer consumed. It's like
Yeah.
you can have a ring with a pearl in it that would qualify.
Yeah. If it's not consumed and doesn't have a gold value, then you probably have it, or you can just substitute your focus for it.
Okay, but either way, I won't be able to fully transcribe the scroll in one sitting tonight.
Yep, you will get halfway with it, so that's a good start. Because that is something that you are thankfully able to break up over the course of days or weeks or months, depending on the spell.
Right, and I'm sorry, it's going to cost me 50 gold to fully transcribe?
50
this would be-
gold, 50 gold per level. It's a second level, so it will be 100 gold total.
Ouch! That's why wizards don't buy much.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's why wizards
Okay.
are always poor.
Yep.
Okay, so I marked off 50 for now.
And I have a really fun way around that for a new wizard subclass that you'll have to tune into season 3 of Destiny Forge for. So, is anyone doing anything else while Yixis is bringing his familiar back to life and writing hurriedly in his book? Are you guys going to be taking watches tonight? And if so, who's taking first watch?
Yeah, if we don't have the dome, probably should take watches.
Yeah, watches would be a good idea.
Would you also allow me to ritualistically cast the shaman armor? It's 10 minutes.
Yes.
The same 2 hours worth.
Yep. Not a problem.
Okay. I want that armor up while I'm asleep.
First
I will take one of the watches, but I probably wouldn't take the first watch.
I'll take either first or last, depending on what everyone else wants.
I'll take third.
I'll take second.
So,
So I'll be first. I think that makes the Ixis fourth.
Yeah, sounds like.
okay. So it goes Iza, Xena, Zara, Yixis. Did I
Mhm.
get that right?
Yes.
I think so. Yes.
Okay. So, are you using the dome tonight, or are you just sleeping out under the night sky?
It sounded like nobody wanted the dome. I'm not doing it unless people ask.
Eva thought it took up magical power, so she's not smart when it comes to magics.
Fair enough.
Well, he did explain he can do it anytime, so the entire group would have heard that.
Yeah, she was very confused by that statement.
Normally, casters are all like, "I can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Dare
I have
you ask
limited
me to use a
abilities."
spell
Let's put it this way: what makes what would make Yixis feel best? Because the group probably doesn't care regardless. It said you didn't have to.
Yeah.
So what would make him feel safest?
Being home?
Next to being home.
You don't have the teleport spell quite yet.
Well, right now he knows that that construct was arcane in nature, so he doesn't want to potentially draw attention by using something.
There's your answer.
Okay.
And we did dig out a den, so we have that sleeping.
Yeah. Okay, so as everyone beds down for the night, Xena, I want to.
I think Iza was first.
Nope.
Iza's
Iza, sorry. Iza, what skill are you relying on for your first watch?
I will use perception.
Perception? Okay. Give me that perception, followed by a percentile.
Natural 20 for 24.
Nice.
And that is a 26. Yeah, I was trying to make sure it wasn't
4 and
cocked.
26.
It looked like it was
Okay.
from one angle, so I had to shift.
Perception. Okay. So you kind of meander around the campsite a bit, doing a very slow perimeter walk. And when you're about 25, 30 minutes into your watch, you notice a faint yellow glow in the distance to the north. As you stop and watch it, it seems to be growing brighter, but not at a quick pace. And after about 5 minutes, it becomes a little clearer to you what it is. It is the glow that was being emitted from that creature that appeared amidst your battle. And it seems to be walking at a kind of slow pace, casually towards your camp. And it stops when it is about 200 feet away and sits down on the ground, just watching, looking in your direction. You can tell it's looking in your direction because it has, somewhat familiar to you, red glowing eyes. And it's just sitting there watching.
Recognizing the eyes, she'll probably give a smirk. Then give it like a little nod of respect, like, I saw what you did. We're appreciative. And then continue on my watch. Kind of keeping an eye on it, but...
Yep. And throughout the remainder of your watch, it seems to just sit there about 200 feet away from your camp, unmoving, but never taking its eyes off of your camp.
I don't recall. Zara Xena was next?
Mhm.
Okay. So-
Xena was next, yeah.
Wake up Xena. And I'll let her know that I noticed the...
Just wait until Rosa and Jay start talking some days.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. I gotta pull up Sirenscape again.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to restart the...
Ironscape. Oh, it didn't die. It's
turn off
alive.
the
It's
sad
still there.
music.
Wait, there was sad music. What happened?
Yeah.
Nah, don't worry about it.
You lost all of your items. We don't know what happened.
Okay, I was gonna ask how many arms I lost.
No,
Oh,
just items.
Just the leg this time.
You lost 7 arms. Wait, what?
You only have one arm and one leg now that's on the opposite sides of your body.
Yes,
luck.
exactly.
Oh, I'm a Picasso. Okay.
Yep. On the plus side, if any of you lose an eye, you do have a thing that can solve that.
Yep.
Don't encourage the Knolls.
But I want
Dear God, that's right. We
this
do have
whole
something for that.
campaign is about encouraging the Knolls.
First,
Come on.
first one to lose an eye gets Zara trying to shove something into their eye socket.
Works for me.
Yep.
That's what we get for having a completely reckless party. Or mostly reckless party.
Entirely reckless party.
I'm gonna say, yeah, completely reckless.
Well,
I
everyone's
know
called-
Yixis hasn't been reckless yet, but
there's
just
potential.
wait until
It's
I
gonna be
wave the
Yixis.
right magic item in front of him,
Oh.
and then all hell is
And it'll be
ridiculous.
Yixis that loses an eye or something, and Zara will be like, I have a thing for that stuff.
Matriarch will never know.
I think Yixis would be okay having a magical eye.
I think you would too.
So, where were we before California?
California
I was waking
happened.
up Xena. Did that
yes,
happen?
that's right.
Did we
You
hear
were
that part?
waking Xena.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or,
the last thing I heard was I'm waking up Xena and the power cut out.
Okay.
yeah.
So
So
wake up-
Iza's watch comes to an end. She goes to wake up Xena for the next one.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw the Yeenoghu. Sure, that's how we say it. About 200 feet over there. It's just sitting there watching the camp. So, I mean, just bear in mind there's two of us here that Yeenoghu does not like very much at the moment.
Right. Which I still don't quite understand why you would
Look,
it on his bad side, but
I was brought back from the offered something from Zara to be brought back from the dead. I took it, and that made him angry. And then, well, I
do
don't like
know
people
I
being
would've
creepy.
chosen the same, but what's done is done, and at least it looks like you're not in his favor, because otherwise that thing probably would be able to kill you. So
Probably, I'm still not convinced it's not.
well, get some rest. You're gonna need it if that is the case. I'll keep an eye on it and look out for anything else. Although, if it's around and it hasn't attacked us yet, I think we're the safest we're ever gonna be tonight.
Possibly. And I'm going to reluctantly pull off my armor to go to sleep.
Okay. And Xena, what are you relying on for your watch?
What did Iza do again?
Perception.
Iza did perception.
Okay. Then Xena's gonna do Xena Zoomies and rush around. She will, when she's catch sight of the God, I cannot say the note.
Shusuva.
Shasuva.
That is not what I said.
She will pay proper respect in accordance to what she knows of, her worship of Yeenoghu. In terms of that, I mean, she's not like a cleric or anything, but she's like doesn't go every Sunday, but every other Sunday kind of.
Once a
It goes
month.
for special occasions.
Yeah, she prays to him. He's for battle reasons and stuff, but.
And when you do that, it does give you a very subtle nod, which is like the only movement that you've seen it make since it arrived.
Yeah, it's a little sign of respect with her axe, and zooming off, continuing, and I'll make those rolls. Okay. So that would be. What is that? Okay. So 14 plus. So for my d20, for my skill check, it was a 22.
22, very nice.
And for percentile die, it's a 70.
22 and 70.
Took me back because Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, that's a 17. I was reading it reversed. My percentile die is a 10 and my d10 is a 7, so that would be 17.
Let me just ignore the really nice thing I rolled for then.
Yeah, I wish it was a 70, but I cannot lie. That's
No,
why
we'll
I
take
took a
the
second.
nice
I
thing.
was like, what is that? Oh, that would be a 0 then. But no, it's not, because I did have a legitimate d10.
Since we ended up in battle because you reversed the chart for the travel, does that mean you can reverse the chart for this as well? We're just gonna flip it upside down and we get the nice thing?
Yeah.
I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not.
please.
However,
That's backwards, Averina.
it's not a regular night for you guys. You have an addition to your group at the moment that seems to be here for a very specific purpose. And as you're doing your zoomies around the camp, you spot off in the distance to the northwest-ish area, not that you inherently know it's the northwest, sand beginning to pick up and swirl into like a little twister. And emerging from the center of this twister is a figure that is kind of familiar to you. It has the upper torso of like a humanoid with the head of a jackal. You recall fighting one of these things a number of days back. They're
Not
known
again.
as a Nubian. And as soon as it begins to make its way towards your camp, just beelining from its right is the Shasuva. And it leaps directly on top of this thing, just like it did with the armor, pouncing on it and knocking it off balance and tearing into it until there is nothing left but loose sand settling on the desert floor. And the Shisuva, after that is done, sits back down, turning its attention back towards your camp with its red glowing eyes looking directly at you.
I would like to note that when Xena saw it rushing forward, she rushed forward too, but it obviously beat me to it, and she wasn't able to get any hit in.
Yeah, you get to about 120 feet away by the time the Shisuva is done tearing into this thing.
But she wanted to show it that she was ready to jump in. But she'll just kind of stop and be like, well done, thank you. And do another sign of respect with her axe, kind of a little bow.
And it clearly sees you do this. No reaction from it this time, but
No.
it sees you.
That's fine. And feeling quite comfortable, Xena will just kind of continue her zoomies for the rest of her watch at a slower pace.
The rest of your watch is relatively quiet. Every once in a while you catch sight of some sort of silhouette on the horizon, perhaps making its way towards the camp. But it's always the same. It always seems to catch sight of this yellow, sickening glow from this creature, and then the silhouettes just go in the opposite direction. And your watch comes to an end.
Okay, and then I'll go to, was it Zara next? Yeah, I'll wake up Zara and inform her that the creature, I'll describe it and say its proper name. I'm so sorry. I need to see it written down. I don't see it anywhere.
That didn't help me. It was in chat a while ago, but it didn't help me at all.
I'll put it in chat.
The Shasuva.
Shusuva.
Shusuva.
Yeah.
Shusuva.
Shoopy.
Shasuva.
Or if you're me, it's Chenova.
Chernobyl.
I mean, to be fair, like all of the Yeenoghu line of creatures have really whacked out spellings of their names, and
When he was creating everything, he just hit the random name generator and just came up with something.
It took me like a month to figure out how to pronounce Krokotowuk correctly. It's not spelled anything like the way it sounds.
I bet. So yeah, she'll tell Zara, the Shasuva has been watching out for us. There was another one of those, jackal-headed nasty things coming at us, and I was about ready to go charge it, but it flew past me, tore it up, like Xena does like a little reenactment. It was amazing. It was glorious. I think we're probably pretty good tonight, but keep an eye out if you wish. I'm gonna go get a snooze.
Just be ready to put it down if it attacks us.
I don't think you should have seen how it tore up. That would be. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Be really respectful, okay?
Of course.
We'll curl up into the puppy pile.
Yeah, Zara, be really respectful to Yeenoghu.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Ethan's on a little bit of respect. A little bit.
So, Xena beds down for the night, and Zara, what are you relying on for your watch?
It'd probably be a good idea to reopen the character sheet.
Nah, you don't.
Nah.
I'm gonna do what I normally do. I'm just gonna go with my my best skill here, which is going to be survival.
Okay.
That's a natural 19 for 26.
Very nice. You guys are finally getting some good watch rolls.
Yeah, but then I roll a 17 on the percentiles.
Oh!
Our percentiles have bombed on a
Same
lot of us.
exact number as me? What are the chances of that?
Team
1 in
17.
100.
Team 17.
Soul Bear
Thanks, Jam. Thanks.
Soul Bear RPG. Thank you for that raid.
Oh my gosh, it's the best night for that to happen at least.
I
One
couldn't
in
help it.
100.
I'm sorry.
Raiders, welcome on in.
The Shizuva is gonna be like, dang, these guys really get.
We're just
I hope this
You're
thing
like
goes back and
paper
reports to
magnet.
Zael and is like, these guys need help.
Why did you send
Like,
them into the desert?
Don't ever send them out again.
You would have been better with a
You'll
group of
run into all
kobolds.
kinds of trouble.
I mean, a group of kobolds would have been fine.
You wouldn't know what I had to do to keep these guys alive.
Monsters would have been running from the kobolds, not from the gnolls. They'd be like, yeah, I don't want to do that. That's crazy for me.
So, I mean, I tried to give you guys a break, but the dice just said no. So you spot to the south end of the camp, Zara, another silhouette, like the ones that were likely described to you by Xena. But this is of a creature that you recognize. It is not just a vague silhouette. It is a relatively tall, very mechanical looking silhouette. Much like the kind of insectoid clockwork creatures, the very large ones that you guys fought, I think twice now, that are up on 4 legs and have the body that reaches up with the metallic pincers, copper and brass plating on the outside. And there looks to be a few of them heading in the direction of your camp. It doesn't look like they've spotted you, not immediately, but rather that they may just be patrolling and are generally headed in that direction. You do have an opportunity or two to alert your teammates or snuff out the fire, try and get their attention to go elsewhere. Whatever you think you can do, you have a moment to do it.
All right. I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to use Druidcraft to snuff the fire out.
Okay.
And
Easy
then
enough to do.
get down as low as I can onto the like to the sand as possible, trying to like stay out of sight.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll.
How bad is this roll gonna be? At least it's a positive number. You know what? I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay. And they, no, this will be versus active perception, I think. No, that guy
That
doesn't
saved
have eyes.
Oh no, wait. It did not save my butt. That's a 12.
12.
Terrible. It's not great either.
Double digits.
Yeah? Double digits. Fox is
They
trying real
rolled
hard not
really badly. They rolled really badly.
They suck at hiding. They
Badly
suck
enough?
at seeing.
I don't know if it's badly enough, though. I mean, 2 of them are most certainly badly enough. One of them doesn't even have eyes. But the third one did tie your stealth check.
Roll off. Inspiration.
He
I
used
think
inspiration.
they are going to continue moving on the path that they're on. Which, now that they're getting closer, you see if they continue straight, it will take them past your camp at a distance of about 40 feet. At which point, it would be a lot easier for them to spot you, but if they rolled just as badly the second time as they did this time, they just walk right by without noticing you whatsoever.
Okay, so would I be able to make a noise of like some sort of like one of those desert ostriches? Would I be able to use Druidcraft to make it like to duplicate a noise of it in pain off in the distance to throw them off?
Just double check Druidcraft real quick.
The tiny harmless sensory effects that predicates the it's weather. Let's see.
Yeah, you'd
the
be
sound-
able to make the noise of, say, one of those ostriches, like an infant one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does say harmless sensory
Small
effect,
animal.
like the sound of a small animal. So yeah, like an infant one calling out for its parents or injured or trapped or something that may draw their attention. The distance on that is limited to 30 feet, so you would have to wait until like the last moment to do it,
Okay.
but you could do it.
That's what I'm gonna do then.
Okay. So I will make one more perception check from them as they're moving closer. Just one, not one from each of them. Yeah, I don't think any of these guys have eyes. They
The mechanical, of
get-
course they don't.
Yeah, they get to a distance of about 30 feet from the camp. They don't appear to have noticed you or the camp at all. You can make the sensory effect, which will, at this point, guarantee that they don't notice the camp. Or you can just let them walk by and hope that they don't notice the camp.
No, I'm not even gonna risk it. I'm gonna throw out the sensory effect.
Okay. And could the rest of you give me perception checks at advantage because of your keen senses to see if you hear this noise?
This might
Oh
be
my
a good
gosh.
thing, though. 11.
Perception,
-1, 18.
22.
Rolled a 3 and a 7, so 8.
Oh,
Yeah, you rolled the same 2 numbers I did.
Really?
so
Yeah.
Xena
glass with
and
the odds.
Xerax, you do hear this noise. This noise wakes you up, and your ears perk up, and you kind of sit up from where you were sleeping, just enough to peer out over the slightly dug-in den that you've got, and you see Zara there, watching some creatures fairly nearby that begin to turn and scurry off towards the direction of the source of this noise. So, you've known Zara long enough to know that she probably set this current thing into motion. So, maybe your first instinct isn't to get up and go fight, but that's up to you. I'm going to assume you're both too groggy to actually do anything about it.
I mean, I was mostly asleep at that point.
Xena would probably perk up. What's going on?
What's dying?
Oh, nothing's dying. I threw a sound to distract a bunch of
Oh,
mechanical creatures that we're heading towards.
Xena clutches her frying pan to her chest at the sound of mechanical creatures.
The frying pan has replaced the axe.
The-
The axe is close by, but the frying pan now.
I imagine
Xerax,
Isa rolls over and kicks someone.
probably. Yeah, you kick Yixis, who then kicks you back, and it's just a sleeping kicking war. Which is something that can happen. I do it with my dog every night.
Well, yes, this is every
Are
4 in the
we-
morning.
Are we? What's going on? Should we go fight? Are we?
No, go back to sleep. It's fine.
Okay.
Xerax,
Don't let them
just
take
as
my
you're
frying
going
pan.
to lay back down because of your relatively high passive perception, you catch out of the corner of your eye a yellow blur in the distance. And focusing in on it, you see that it is, again, this Shisuva who is making a beeline for these mechanical creatures. It didn't spot them until after they started to head towards the source of this noise. And they get about 55 feet away from the camp when the Shisuva makes it to them, and it just starts tearing into them. It's a spectacle for about half a minute, and then there's just scraps left on the ground.
We're going to need to go to all these little battle sites and just
Mm-hmm.
gather
And,
everything
like,
up.
and as soon as she sees it tearing into these mechanical things, just turns around, uses Druidcraft again to light the fire.
Your den once again becomes warm and cozy.
Oh, that's a problem for morning me.
Oh,
Goes right back to sleep.
Okay. And Zara, the rest of your watch is relatively uneventful. You don't see anything that really differs from what the others saw in their watches. And it comes to an end. Time to wake up the next person for the final watch.
And that's Yixis, correct?
yes.
I believe so, yes.
Yep. Okay, so she's gonna walk over and she's gonna be gentle this time and just like start shaking him.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, is
You-
it?
your
Is it
turn,
time?
pup.
Okay. Well,
Just
get up and stretch and scratch. And
just a heads up that abomination of Yeenoghu is out there again, keeping an eye on the camp.
I'll peek my head around.
Its red eyes are looking in your direction.
It seems to be protecting us.
That doesn't stop Yixis from being happy he's wearing brown pants.
Wait, he's wearing pants?
So there's a very audible gulp, and he's gonna sit in the entrance of this little dugout as hidden as possible.
Okay. And from your position, what skill are you relying on for your watch?
Actually, you know what? Are familiars do familiars emanate magical auras?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so I'll keep. Flying serpent will be inside the dugout. Okay, so during this watch, I would like to use investigation.
Investigation, okay. That is certainly possible.
Might as well pick up the percentile dice. So that's going to be a 21 and an 85.
Wow.
21 and 85. Very nice. So, how exactly is Yixis relying on his investigative abilities to protect the camp during this time.
Well, after a little bit of sitting in the entrance of the dugout, getting used to the idea that this creature is just like eyeballing them, but also apparently protecting them, he'll get out and kind of skulk around the. I assume we have kind of like a little dune that we did the dugout in,
Yeah.
and just like sniff around and make sure that he doesn't see any signs of foul play or anything like that.
Okay. So, as you are sniffing around and keeping an eye on things, you do happen to notice, as a slight breeze picks up in the area, about 15 feet out from where you guys have dug your den, there seems to be something stuck in the sand, and it is flapping in the breeze. From this distance, it looks like it could be a piece of cloth, maybe, or a piece of paper of some kind, but it certainly got your attention.
So he's going to
What
get
is a
his
piece of paper doing out here?
he's going to get as low to the ground as he possibly can, and he's going to scoot his way up, and he's going to sniff at it and try to make sure it seems as safe as possible before getting too close. And
Okay. As you sniff at it, give me a perception check at advantage.
Okay, so that's going to be a 14.
14. Let's look at
Yeah,
your
it didn't roll
character
great.
sheet.
Didn't roll terribly.
I mean,
I've only got a +1 to
14
perception, so
14 it's a good roll for someone level 6. What is your... Oh, yes, you are proficient in history. Okay, so you sniff at this piece of paper for a few moments, and then suddenly it clicks in your mind that this piece of paper has a similar scent to it as a lot of the belongings around the ruined camp did.
and so excited. Just like gingerly picks up the paper. He doesn't want to rip it or anything, but like dusts off around it, trying to make sure it's not attached to anything and isn't going to cause it any damage.
Okay.
But
and
he wants to see this paper.
You do that, not a problem, and you pull it out of the sand without disturbing it too much. It is just a piece of paper, blank piece of paper, nothing on either side of it. But there is something buried further into the sand, something underneath it, and you now notice a couple other things kind of around the small area that this piece of paper was embedded in the sand.
If he knew how to properly be an archaeologist, he would draw out the rope lines and do the grid, but he's going to get all this stuff. This is now his priority.
Okay. Are you just going at it, or are you investigating the stuff before digging it out?
Like there will be a moment of caution before each item. He doesn't want to like put his paw into somebody's face. But he wants to know what all this stuff is. Yes.
Okay, so the first item, as you begin to dig the sand away around it, and I'm really glad it was you that found this, because it could not be more perfect, is what appears to be a fountain pen. just sitting there. It was underneath the piece of paper, and it is partly buried in the sand, but easy enough to brush the sand away. It looks to be in pristine condition. It has the same kind of foreign design to it that everything else in that camp seemed to have.
Mm-hmm.
And the other things, where did my table go? Other things that you find are 3 small translucent red stones. They are about 2 inches in diameter and oval in shape.
Mm-hmm.
They are also pristine. And you dig out the sand around them. And are you just picking all of this stuff up with your bare hands, or are you like wrapping it in a piece of cloth and then picking it up, or how are you going about that?
I mean, I'm a little hesitant to say this, but unless there was something particularly off-putting about something that would tell him he shouldn't make like direct contact with something, he'd probably do it.
Okay. Now you pick up the pen and you pick up the 3 stones, and all of them are quite cool to the touch. I mean, it's night in the desert, so it's relatively cold out right now, but touching these things, they are noticeably colder than the air around them. Very similar to that box that you found the looking glasses in.
Yeah, so if that's everything he's able to find, he might spend some extra time just trying to see if there's anything else to be found. But if that's everything there is to find, he would start ritually casting Identify.
Oh, glad I was muted for that. I just sneezed right into the microphone. Yeah, that seems to be everything that you can find at the moment. These things weren't really buried in the sand in any way. It's like they were just sitting on the surface of the sand and the wind blew some sand particles over them. So you don't feel like you have to dig very deep to look for more things. These were probably just dropped at some point.
Okay.
So you go back to the camp and you are ritually casting, what was it? I was sneezing, so I didn't hear.
Identify. But just real quick, before I do, seeing as how I'm making the connection of them possibly belonging to the same person that had that camp, I doubt there will be, but I want to see if I can pick up a scent or see tracks or anything of where this individual may have been heading towards.
If you are looking for a scent, you can give me a perception at advantage. If you're looking for tracks, you can give me survival or investigation.
Perception. I only have a +1, but it is at advantage. I will go off of investigation as my best stat for that. Okay. 18.
18. Okay.
I was hoping for a
Pretty
little
decent
higher,
roll.
but that's good.
You take some time to look around, sniff around, and you don't seem to pick up on any tracks left in the sand anywhere. You don't seem to pick up on any scent trails either in the area. It's obvious that someone passed through here, otherwise you wouldn't have just found some stuff, but it was long enough ago that they don't seem to have any trail left behind.
I'll chalk it up to me not being a good tracker and plan to inform the rest of the group tomorrow.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Yixis.
I'm a bookworm.
So, getting back to the camp, you are going to begin your ritual cast.
Yes.
Okay. And that is identify. Okay, so it only takes 10 minutes to do that. You do have those ever-present glowing red eyes in the distance, so you feel comfortable enough to not focus on looking around for those 10 minutes and instead focus on your ritual. And your identify tells you what each of those things are. So the fountain pen that you found is most certainly a magical item. It is a scribe's pen. What that is a pen that you can use to write on any surface. And as you're writing, you decide whether the writing is visible or invisible.
Interesting.
And there is a... I don't know if you would actually know what this is. Well, actually, no. Maybe you would. You've read a lot of Arcastan books. Pilfered Arcastan books. There's something known as the Mark of Scribing. And those that bear this Mark of Scribing, the ink written with this pen is always visible to them. And they can choose to turn invisible ink visible. And if you're to write on a person, a creature, with this pen, you can indeed do that, but it will fade after 7 days.
Okay. Would Yixis have any idea of how to receive one of these marks?
Not
Yes,
off
ma'am,
the
he
top
wants
of
it.
your head, no. You've seen it mentioned in a few of the Arcastan history books, but nothing specifically that tells you how to obtain one.
Okay.
I will send you the information for this item through Discord DMs.
Thank you.
And the other things, the 3 stones. Your identify tells you that these stones are known as echo stones. And typically the way an echo stone works is it has a message implanted within it. And as soon as somebody touches one of those stones, the message is either spoken or shown to them in some way. These ones didn't do that when you touched them. Excuse me. So that tells you that they are blank echo stones. And you know that you can activate them and put your own message into them if you so desire. And, well, have an echo stone with a message in them. Each echo stone can only hold a single message once. You cannot overwrite a message within a stone.
Okay.
And there doesn't seem to be a limit on the duration of the message. So you could hold on to an echo stone and read aloud an entire novel, and it would be stored within that stone. But you can't, like, fast forward through a message either, so you'd have to listen to the whole novel every time.
And thus began Yixis's business of audiobooks in the world of D&D.
It could be a thing.
Audio mage tomes.
Yeah.
Odd.
You now have 3 of those. 3 blank echo stones.
For the mage on the go, don't have time to sit and read a book while you're traveling. Listen to these echo stones.
Really?
Hear the tales of ancient mage tomes.
Learn new spells on the go.
Worth noting, these stones, the material that they're made of is equally as foreign to you as, well, the pen and the cookware and everything else from that camp. You are muted, Tam.
Anyone else hearing learn a language vibe going on too?
New language.
Always wanted to learn Orcish. Well, here's your chance.
Do it on the go. Wherever you are.
So, like, repeat after me, says the Echo Stone.
You'd have to go through the entire lesson plan every time because there's no fast forward.
Apparently Duolingo is now a thing as well, so
Hey, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, that's a great way to learn because then you just reiterate the basics and foundation every time.
It's true.
Yeah. This is valid.
So, after identifying those objects, the remainder of your watch goes by without issue, and the sun begins to rise on the horizon.
Everyone wakes up to a very happy Yixis whose tail is wagging furiously.
Looks like someone's getting over the events of yesterday. The
You're
past few days.
chipper.
if you'll excuse me, I have some bad news to deliver.
Do you want to see your possibilities first? Or do you want to get this out of the way?
I'm gonna get this out of the way. I have a feeling she's gonna tell me to look into the future.
Every possibility is
See
just
how
exile.
see how far she throws Master Yith or something.
The second you tell her about the bird box, she's gonna sick the hyena dog on you.
If it's hers.
Pretty sure it's hers.
If it's not hers, we have a bigger concern.
Who's watching us?
She's gonna just prop herself up where she was sleeping and use the sending stone.
Isa's going to sit down and kind of just like lean up against Zara just a little bit for support. Showing friendly support.
Okay. So I just have to ask for posterity's sake, who are you sending a message to?
Zael.
Okay, you have 25 words.
25 words.
I do want to note that you know for a fact that your matriarch is not a morning person.
Too bad.
And it is very early in the morning.
Too bad. She was demanding to talk to me.
You have been warned.
Didn't specify a time. Gained the ability to look into possible futures. Saw blood rain. Bird box lost.
That was 13 words.
That's all she says.
Okay.
And now
I
he
always love it
waits.
when I have to refer back to Zael's character sheet.
Sales
I
character.
imagine the rest of the message is just static. Take up time to delay the response.
Okay. Message received. You don't get a response. You just get confirmation that the message was received.
Nothing yet, but we know that will change.
You want to hold on to the stone for now, or the amulet for now.
Might as well.
Uncheck my inventory list.
I'm just gonna say, I think you should probably consider yourself lucky that at this very moment, she is organizing hunting parties with the Gnolls to try and deal with the source of the rain. I have the timeline written down, and it's very specific about what she was doing from the Tuesday Cave at certain times.
Don't worry.
Almost like he knew that.
Don't worry, she'll be angry soon enough.
Yeah, somewhere off in Dagger Tree, she's like barking out instructions to a whole team of Gnolls, and she just like stops, and her eyes go wide, and her ears stick up, and she says and does nothing for like 30 seconds, and all the Gnolls are like starting to whisper amongst each other, and then she goes back to barking orders, but very aggressively.
grabs some random Gnoll and just starts punching him in the face, giving orders out.
All the fur bristles stands on end.
So, with the bad news delivered, you are all awake to greet the morning. Your friend still seems to be sitting about 200 feet away from the camp, watching you. No issues arise. You have a very happy Yixis with you.
Mara, look at Zara and be like, do you think that thing will eat me if I run off to go hunting?
Honestly, I don't. I don't like it.
Give me the creeps.
I don't trust it.
I'm staring at it while I'm talking to Zara.
It can probably hear everything you say.
I don't care.
That's fine.
While Zara was doing the sending, Yixis would have gone up to Xerax. Xerax, I need your help. I found some stuff, and I think it belonged to the person at the camp, and they might have left a trail, but I couldn't find it. Do you think you could try to find the trail?
Possibly. What did you find?
And he's gonna pull out the pen, probably expecting a roll of the eyes. Well, I found this scribe's pen, and I found these message stones, and they're all cold to the touch, like all the other stuff we found in that camp. And yeah, I think they were here.
You found a random stick that they use to write things and a pile of stones.
Oh no, it's a very specific stick. It's actually something that their scribes use. You're not interested.
They use the sticks to write on the stones.
Well, really, you can write on more than stone. The point is, they were here.
After breakfast, we can have a look.
Did he keep the paper with him too?
Yes.
But if you keep handling them like that, it's going to make it more difficult to track them by scent.
Nixus will look at the pen and the stones and be like, in his head, shit. but the paper, he hasn't really been like handling that a whole bunch. But he'll put that down in a place where it's not going to be blown away, like in the dugout, and just caution not to ruin the paper because he thinks there might be writing on it.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to find a spot in the den that is going to be unaffected by the breeze.
Either we'll hunt for our breakfast still.
Okay.
Maybe not go as far, knowing that thing's sitting there.
As you set out from the camp, the Shisuva seems to keep pace with you, but staying at the distance of 200 feet.
Okay. I'll still do my hunt.
You can go ahead and give me that survival roll. See if you can scrounge up a good meal or just enough to get by.
23.
Oh, yeah. You happen across a pair of very large jackrabbits that are out looking for a morning meal before the predators emerge from their dens. Unknown to them is a very large predator that has emerged from her den named Isa.
And I would like to skin them. I want the skin. I want the fur.
Okay, so you're an expert at this, not the skinning, at the hunting part. You're an expert at this by this point, so you managed to catch them and kill them rather quickly.
I'm getting there on the skinning.
Well, you're trying. you bring them back to camp and attempt to skin them. So
Yep.
go ahead, give me that survival roll on the skinning. For the
Natural
first one.
20 for a 24.
Natural 20 for a 24. Okay. You are so very careful with this one after losing so many pelts and so many skins over the last 2 weeks. You're refusing to let this one get away from you as well. And that determination pays off, and you skin it expertly. There is one other one though, so I will need another survival roll for the second one.
Fitting. It's a natural one.
A natural one. Okay. You get perhaps a little bit too excited by the job that you did on the first one, and you tear into the second one, literally. You're a little overzealous, and your claws are out, and they're a bit sharpened from battle. And by the time you make the first incision through the flesh around the neck, you realize that the hand that you've been gripping it with has been piercing into the hide of the rabbit, and it's just torn it to shreds. The meat's still good, though.
I'll finish getting the meat ready and everything ready for the cooking. Blue rest Xena, and then go back over and more start laying out the skin to dry, as I would with my whatever I have left of my sticks. I had pin to start with, and we've made a couple campfires. I'm not sure if those are gone.
Let's see. You have about 4 left, enough to start 2 more fires.
Okay. I'm gonna use them to prop open my create a little carrying thingy for my skin.
Yep.
Words.
That is something you have done several times already, so you are able to do it without issue.
And I'll prop it up close to the fire, but not too close, so that it can start drying. I want it to catch fire again. It's also a little bit farther away from Xena, like on the opposite side of the fire from where Xena's standing.
Okay. And you are giving the meat to Xena, I assume?
Yep.
Okay. So, because you are still currently under the effects of cooking, a rather well-to-do cooking roll, you can choose to do a roll on this one, overwriting the last effect, not knowing what this effect is going to be, or you can just prepare good food and stick with the effects of the last cooking roll.
I'll stick with the effects of the last one and just prepare a simple breakfast. Good, simple breakfast.
Yeah, and there's a lot of meat on these rabbits, perhaps a little more than expected. They were rather well-fed rabbits, and you fry them up in the pan over the fire. A couple spices from your inventory of spices.
Bunny bacon.
There you go, bunny bacon. It smells delicious. It sounds delicious sizzling in the pan, and it is indeed delicious when you eat it.
I'm stuffing the leftovers in my cold box because Isa's convinced this is going to work like a refrigerator.
Does she even know what a refrigerator is? Do we have cold boxes?
I think there is one, if I'm remembering correctly in my setup of the settlement. There is one vendor in Wraith's Cast that has a cold box that they probably stole from somebody that they probably killed to get it. But that's where they keep the stuff that isn't common to the desert, like fish and that sort of thing, in the cold box to preserve it. So you've seen them before. Yixis is probably the only one that knows how they work, but who cares how it works as long as it works.
Box is cold. It's a cold box. Logic.
While you are pulling that box out of your bag, give me an investigation check.
Well,
It's you that has the other box as well, right? That you took from the camp? Or
yes.
does somebody else have that?
No, I think I kept the boxes. Unless someone else.
Yeah, you wanted the empty boxes.
I wanted the boxes.
Okay. And What did you roll?
A 12.
12. You push aside the box that you recall had bread and jam inside of it, and you realize that it's heavier than it was the previous day.
I'm gonna open the box. I'm curious now.
Okay, you open up the box, and the scent of freshly baked bread fills your nostrils. And looking inside of the box, you see 3 loaves of fresh bread, along with several jars of different types of preservatives.
I'm gonna pull that out and be like, look at the preservatives. Anything I recognize in these preservatives, or are they just weird to me?
They're kind of weird to you. Gnolls don't really preserve things. They just eat everything as soon as possible.
Did you do what they used to do? They look funny. I found them in my box with this bread. I don't know how these go in this box.
Xena sniffs it and takes the jars, opens them up, tastes a bit. What does it taste like?
Let's see. There's 4 total, and the one that you open is a dark red in color and seems to have like little tiny seeds in it. You taste it; it's quite sweet, but not overpoweringly so. You don't know what strawberries are, but this is strawberry jam.
Yeah.
I have never had this, but it is so delicious.
Well, now we have it for next meal.
Is that bread?
Yeah, I got through it. Smells pretty good.
Here, gimme.
Faster, a loaf of bread. Maybe Eustace is right. This thing does have a portal in it. But every time I put my hand in it, hits the bottom, so I don't know.
Xena cuts a few slices off and sizzles them on the skillet in the bunny bacon grease, making like bunny bacon toast, and then spreads some of the jam on and takes a bite and determines it's delicious.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And makes it for everybody.
And I'm
so
faster on the
hungry
loaves.
right now.
Yes. This is making me hungry.
You know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you all have assuming it's being shared with everybody.
Yep.
You all have a delicious breakfast of freshly baked bread, preserves, and bunny bacon. It's amazing.
I swear I'm eating better out here than I had at home.
Well, at home
Probably.
you didn't have us. And I will close that box, and I will still go back to my cold box that I am convinced it's a cold box, and put any extra food we have in there.
Okay. So, with that, I think for once we are going to end a session of this campaign not on a cliffhanger. You guys have full stomachs. You've had a full rest. You're feeling pretty good, everything considered. I mean, still not great, but you're not on death's door anymore, so that's good. You do have a creepy, gross, mangy thing watching you, but it doesn't seem to be hostile at the moment, as far as you can tell. So
Everyone noticed it followed it's Iza, right? Everyone noticed that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that is going to do it for us today. Tune in next week to see what sort of shenanigans await the crew. They're getting pretty close. They're about halfway to their next major marker on the map, and I'm kind of excited for this one. It's pretty minor, but it's fun. I like fun. And some of you may recognize some things when you get to that marker. Aside from this show, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, you say it's minor, but with the trouble we get into.
Okay, yeah. I have the points written down to be fairly minor points. What the group makes of that is entirely on you. We do have other shows aside from Gnoll Way Out. Tomorrow we have episode something of Into the Wildlands. I think it's like episode 9 or 10.
9 or 10, something like that.
We're a few behind No Way Out because we started a few weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, episode 9 or 10. Getting to some really exciting things in that one. We've found some strange items that have turned one of our party members into a Mortal Kombat character, which is pretty cool. On Saturdays, alternating Saturdays, we have Withered Wastes and Wayward Wanderers. This Saturday, starting at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, is the next episode of Withered Wastes. I don't even know where to start with that campaign, so just tune in.
I can't wait for Saturday.
There's some interesting things happening. Yeah, and then Saturday
Reminds me,
next
I need
week
to write something for that.
will be the next episode of Wayward Wanderers, which starts at 12 p.m. Pacific. So we do have all of those shows listed in our info panels down below if you are ever curious about when the next one is going to be happening. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you all tomorrow.
Have a good one, everyone.
Good night.